Let me tell you about MPM, McAllister Precision Marketing. They can assist up-and-coming racers with career advancement, promotion, and assist in sponsorship procurement. MPM also has media and professional etiquette training. They work with premier driver development teams and limited late models to late models. And they also help the teams to make it up to the levels of K&N, ARCA, Truck Series, and even NASCAR Xfinity. Contact Tanya McAllister today at McAllister Precision Marketing, 803-361-6199. Today, get on the board with MPM.
CrateInsider.com is your one source for crate racing tech and more. Whether you currently race with a crate engine or you are thinking about getting into the sport, our website has what you need. CrateInsider.com has tech videos, interviews with experts, and the best products in the industry. Dyno tested and proven, so we know they are the best products for crate engines. Visit CrateInsider.com today to get on the fast track to victory lane.
Hey, it's broadcast personality Wesley Outland, and for the second year in a row, the Community Radio Network is excited to also be the voice of iRacing on LSRTV every Monday and Thursday night with the Northwest Racing Series for Cup and Truck. Join yours truly, Justin Prince and Samuel Dyer, every week as they race towards a championship. We're also on the radio in the Triangle in the Raleigh-Durham, North Carolina area at 87.5 WCRN and anywhere worldwide at wearecrn.com. Click play. Check out the coverage, the power of radio to the imagination of the listener, esports style. We are the Community Radio Network, the voice of iRacing on LSR TV. Check it out when you can, and replays are always up too.
This is Finish Line.
This episode is an exclusive production solely for the private, non-commercial use of our listening audience. Any publication, reproduction, transmission of the accounts without the express written consent or permission is restricted and prohibited. To hear this replay or other previous podcasts, download on iHeartRadio, iTunes Radio, and TuneIn. As always, this show is for you. Thank you for listening.
This is Finish Line. Undisputed, unrealistic, unscripted, and unrehearsed. This is Finish Line, a weekly podcast talking about the positive and negative of motorsports, asking the questions to drivers, promoters, and personalities, getting the information and responses of the sport others dare not to ask or even discuss. This is Finish Line. This radio podcast is from the heart, an in-depth analysis of everything in NASCAR, NHRA, IHRA, IndyCar, grassroots motorsports, asphalt, dirt, drag racing, karting, tractor pulling, boat racing, demolition derbies, and much more. From touring events to national, regional, weekly, and more. This is the podcast where the bull stops here. Whether it's asphalt, dirt, or drag racing, or anything else in life, there is always a finish line. Now, he's a respected veteran broadcaster with over 20-plus years experience calling all forms of sports for public address, TV, and radio. From NASCAR to the grassroots. Please welcome your host, Wesley Outland. This is Finish Line.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Finish Line. My name's not Bubba Pollard. What are you doing to me, Charles? What are you, right out of the gate? There you go. That'll be our first guest, though. Bubba Pollard will be our first guest coming up. You know what? We had a great production meeting. What was it, 5 minutes? And I had a feeling it was going to be a great show. And we come right out of the gate, and we got Bubba Pollard as your host. So we need to have Bubba Pollard be a host of Finish Line. That'd be pretty damn cool. Hey, listen, welcome to the March 30th edition of Finish Line. Of course, Fox Sports Radio affiliates throughout the Carolinas, iHeartRadio, iTunes Radio, tuned in, Spreaker, Spotify, Community Radio Network, 87.5 FM in the Triangle of North Carolina. And, Charles, where are we on now? Facebook, we're live. Yes. I've always wanted to say those 3 words, and we are now also on Facebook as well. So props to Live Sim Racing Productions and all of the great work that they do to improve the enhancements of Finish Line on a weekly basis. I am your host, Wesley Outland. Charles Wooten, you're not going to see him, but you will hear him in Wichita Falls, Texas at our production studios. Charles, how was your week so far, man? How was the weekend?
The weekend was a little crazy, to be honest. Typical family issues going on, but we think we're done with that. The weather went through last night. It wasn't bad. We're here. We're ready for, apparently ready for Bubba Pollard, because I thought he was you for a minute. So he put his name up by mistake. But yeah, ready for a good show. And you never know where we might end up. Maybe next week we'll be on Twitch too. You don't know.
You never know. Maybe Twitch. Twitch will be popular. Man, yeah, for sure. Hey, a lot of cool things going on in the world of racing. Of course, you see in the backdrop behind me, Coda. How about you look at how cool this is? Do you see this week after week it changes? Look at this. Wow. Coda. Awesome restart. Looked like a hole shot. And when it was all said and done, the Watermelon Man out of Alva, Florida, Team Track Horse, Trackhouse Racing winning. Props to Pitbull. Props to Justin Marks. Everybody on the NASCAR community winning. Charles, you gotta love Ross Chastain. You gotta love an underdog story, and that's exactly what he is. He's an underdog.
Yeah, I love seeing an underdog come back and win. And as far as Coda and that restart, I love road course races when they restart or even start the race and it looks like that, because it reminds me of like BMX racing. You start out too wide, and by the time you're into the first corner, you're like 15 wide, and they don't just destroy each other. That's always a positive.
Yes, exactly. And, I mean, everything was really fun. You got all the great races going on. Racetracks across America are back in full swing again. The World of Outlaw NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars have gone from Texas to California in their West Coast swing. You've got, of course, NASCAR from Coda now getting ready to go up the road to my state above me, Richmond, Virginia. Then we go to Martinsville. Then we go to Bristol. The dirt race, a whole bunch of cool things going on. If you're a fan of short track racing, you got to love NASCAR for the next couple of weeks, because you go to Richmond Raceway, then you go to Martinsville under the lights, then you go to Bristol under the lights. 3 night races, Charles, in a row, and on 3 different racetracks, and obviously it culminates with the night race at Bristol on dirt. On dirt, might I add.
Short track, night racing, dirt racing, that's my my favorite right there.
We have got an awesome show lined up for you. Let's get it started right now. Here is your guest lineup for the March 30th edition of the Finish Line Motorsports Show, now on the radio and on YouTube TV, as well as on LSRTV's Facebook feed. We're going to kick things off with the 2nd annual Georgia Spring Nationals champion, Bubba Pollard from Sonoy, Georgia. He'll be joining us via phone cast here in a few moments. Chad McCumbee, the winner of round 2 of the Solid Rock Carriers Cars Tour late model stock event at Hickory Motors Speedway, will be joining us at 1:25 p.m. These are all Eastern time, by the way. At 1:40 Eastern time, winner of the Atlantic Turf Stakes Super Truck Series round 2, Robert Tyler from Mullins, South Carolina, will be joining us on the program. And then we'll stay from Caraway Speedway winner and round number 3 of the Smart Modified Tour, Caleb Heddy, the young man from, of course, Kentucky, winning his 2nd Smart Modified Tour event, his first Smarty. That is all in hour number 1 at 2:05 Eastern time. Then we go to downtown Michael Brown. He's been on Finish Line before. He picked up his first career World of Outlaw Case Equipment Late Model Series win at Cherokee Speedway. We'll have him on the program. Austin Holcomb. This man has been phenomenal, okay, in the world of modified racing. Austin Holcomb. He's won in modifieds racing with Dirt Car, UMP, you name it, Renegades of Dirt, at Screven at Winter Freeze. And then last week alone, he won at Halifax County Motor Speedway, Bristol Motor Speedway for the modified feature. And the next day, he loads up and he goes to Cherokee Speedway and wins the modified event at Cherokee Speedway. Austin Holcomb from Elm City, North Carolina, one of the young men that I watched grow up from being a go-kart racer to a 4-cylinder racer to now running late models and modifieds and on the national scene at that. And finally, $50,000 winner, Chris All-In Ferguson out of Mount Holly, North Carolina. Chris Ferguson, it's Fergie time on Finish Line, and he will be joining us to talk about the big win at Bristol, redeeming himself after the problems of dominating the Southern All-Star event at Cherokee, cut down a tire, coming back, we're getting the redemption and winning his biggest win of his career in super late models. All that's coming up today, March 30th. Bubba Pollard, Chad McCovey, Robert Tyler, Caleb Heady, Michael Brown, Austin Holcomb, and Chris Ferguson on Finish Line. And right now, we're going to go quickly to the phone line. We ain't going to waste no time, Charles. We ain't wasting no time, brother. Somehow, some way, we're going to get this started here. We're going to go to the phone lines here and get our first guest on the program. And he did request, we were going to have him on video, but he did request at the last minute because of his work stuff going on that we please call him instead. And I told him that we would give him a few minutes extra and we would call him. And he said that he would rather prefer phone cast than video, which is all good. But we appreciate him being on the program. Ladies and gentlemen, from Sonoy, Georgia, he has been on Finish Line before. Of course, he won that big race back at the race at Cordell. And he wins the Spring Nationals again. Bubba Pollard, welcome to Finish Line. Good afternoon, my friend.
How's it going, man?
Where you at right now, brother?
I'm having to work. I got a lot going on.
I heard that. You got a lot going on, whether it is racing in the TM Ranch 26 car, whether it is Sonoy Raceway operating the family dirt track, and then keeping up with the crazy schedule that you have as well, man. Thanks for taking the time to join us on Finish Line this afternoon.
Well, I appreciate you having me on. It's always a good time. Yeah, just busy, so try to juggle everything, and it's just a lot. So glad we can win some races. That's the most important thing, right?
Man, I tell you, what a performance it was for you. It looked like you had some hiccups along the way, damaged left front end, but instead you still rallied on and went on to win the race. Talk about the damage on the race car. And I think we got a picture of that, Charles, if we can put that up there real quickly as we're talking about that segment. Damaged left front. You got sheet metal taken off right where the tire is, and somehow, some way, you still managed to win the race on Saturday night in the Georgia Spring Nationals.
Yeah, we were very fortunate to have a good enough race car to overcome it. Aerodynamics can play a favor in a lot of things, a lot of places, but Cordell luckily didn't have an effect on it, and luckily, we ran a couple laps there after the fender. And we had gotten kind of squeezed up into the, we had to check up and rip the fender off there on the outside of a guy. So, luckily the fender come on off. Luckily it didn't have a tire rub or anything like that where we had to pit. So, just really fortunate there. Really had, really good luck.
Man, it just seems like, suffice to say, all the pieces are falling into place for Bubba Pollard's world. Definitely, a lot of rumors were going around when you had your struggles last year. He's old, he's used up, he doesn't have it no more. Well, how do you like me now? I come right out of the gate and I've won, 3 out of the last 6 races you've competed in, I believe?
Well, it's just, you didn't forget overnight of how to drive a race car. That's what a lot of these old guys, you just don't do it. You go through, tough times, and we had a lot going on, and just everything wasn't aligning. And today, to compete in the world that we are trying to compete in, you have to be, on top of your game, and you have to be 100% every time you go. And we just had a lot of different things going our way with just persuade our focus towards other things. So we were able to turn things around. At the end of this year or last year, get refocused, revamp our program, and start over, and it's paid off. So hopefully we can keep it going on into 22 here. I feel good. Hopefully we can keep winning some of these races and keep running up front.
Again, winner at the Crisp Motorsports Park in Cordell, Georgia, the 2nd annual Georgia Spring Nationals. Joining us on Finish Line is, of course, Bubba Pollard via Cellcast, and, of course, Chad McCumbee coming up next. Bubba, I do know that you are not only going to be running the super late model car, but you're also going to try to make some late model stock races again this year. Is that the plan? And not just Martinsville.
Yeah, we're going to see how the rest of the year goes. it's nothing's written in stone yet. We don't know, what's going to happen or who we're going to do it with or anything like that. So we like to run a few races, but just kind of playing it by ear at this point in time, and always enjoy racing and competing with different people and racing different cars, and it keeps you sharp. It keeps you, you learn new things every time you can get on the racetrack, whatever it may be, whatever you're driving. So it's been, it's always fun to go and do different things and have some fun doing it.
Bubba, where do you think we're at right now with the car counts, the tire situation, and more? I mean, obviously, you guys were told in the drivers' meeting at with Tim Bryant, the promoter of the Southern Super Series, that the Southern National event that was scheduled for April 23rd has been postponed. That is over a month away or less than a month away, but the decision was made because of the tire shortages and some scheduling conflicts, if you will. What's your take of where we're at right now moving into 22 so far?
Well, it's gonna be tough. It's definitely a concern because I think the tire shortage is the biggest issue we're fighting right now, and I think there's more to come. I don't think this is the end of it, or it's gonna get any better anytime soon. So hopefully they can all work it out. Excuse me, and we can get some tires and we can go back racing. I think we've learned a lot through all this process that a lot of people you don't need to buy and spend a lot of money. So it saved a lot of people a lot of money.
Sure.
And hopefully, at the same time, they don't have to spend that money when things do get back normal. And if they ever do, or get back normal. So, I think it's going to be a long year. Hopefully we can just keep going, support the racetrack, support the series, and do everything we need to do to be a part of it and keep short track racing healthy.
Bubba, where do you see, obviously, the state of the super late models going? And I mean, obviously, we can, talk about this on so many different levels, but one thing for certain is there is just that undying spirit in the racing industry. We've seen it on so many different levels through COVID, pre-COVID, post-COVID, where we're at now. But do you feel like we're getting to a point where it is becoming exhausting, and basically we're at a point now where what track or what series will survive will be the one that tries to be successful and still try to, stick it to the other one? And I don't mean to say that in a facetious bad way, but honestly, me and a track promoter were talking the other day, and it's dog eat dog world right now, it seems. Nobody wants to get together.
Well, it is, and honestly, it's been like that for years. It's just people are talking about it a lot more than what they used to because you have social media and you have all these social media outlets that keep everybody involved. But I don't know. It's there's pros and cons, and I see it striving, and I see it don't. It's a lot of the racetracks and a lot of series like Southern Super Series. They're paying $10,000 to win every race. That's what you want to go and race for. I mean, that's a great purse. I feel like I think that's where it needs to be. I feel like that's where it should have been in years.
Sure.
And then the cars decided to kind of step back and go in a pro late model route. So that kind of helps some other series. But there's a lot of different things that can go on in the next couple of years. There's a national touring series that's come about, and I think there's actually going to be two of them. And that's bad, so they're going to try to compete against each other. So we don't need that. So I mean, there's good and bad, pros and cons, a little bit of everything of what's going on. But hopefully, all we can do is just support it. And then we see things on the other side as far as being a promoter. So we look at things differently now when we walk in the gate. So it gives you a different way to look at things and see how people are doing things. So it's tough. Hopefully they can all put their heads together and through these troubling times. The economy, I mean, everybody's spending money right now, so that's good.
Sure.
You got the TV deal, so there's so much that can go on. That's what we're talking about here.
Few more minutes with Bubba Pollard. Obviously, we don't want to keep him on for a long time. We got Chad McCumbee coming up also in a few moments as well. This is the Finish Line show for this March the 30th. Hey, let's talk about Sonoy Raceway. How things looking for 2022? Obviously, big races scheduled. Already had a couple of races this year done, and handling the racetrack life and the promoter life. Or the driver life and the promoter life, because it's all hand in hand in racing. But how do you feel like you're adapting to that?
Well, I've learned a lot, and there's a lot that I still, have to learn. That we're learning every day. But there's a lot there's a lot of what I've taken as a driver and brought it to promoting or to working here at the racetrack or whatever it may be that we've I feel like set ourselves apart from a lot of other racetracks. It's made them step up a little bit.
Sure.
We've had a lot of cool ideas. We had 2 great events earlier this year, 1st of March. We had the Supers here, just a great turnout, all around great race. And then, last week or 2 weeks ago, we had Chase Elliott here. Huge deal for us. It was awesome. He took the Atlanta race weekend. He took his time out of his busy schedule to come down here and just have some fun. And that's what it's all about. So we got a big year. We got 6, 7 super races left to go for the year. We got monster trucks. We got our big Peak State Classic in November, second weekend in November.
Oh yeah.
50,000, 10,000 Friday night, 52,000 or 53,000 Saturday night. We're looking forward to that. This weekend is our points opener. So hoping we get some cars and get support for the all year, and just really excited about the year. We got a lot going on that we're doing to the racetrack facility wise, with new things and upgrading and things like that. So we're really looking forward to it this year.
Where do you see, and we just talked about this a few minutes ago, you're going from paying, $10,000 to win, and you just point blank said, excuse me, they should have already been paying that kind of money out of the gate years ago. But now we finally got to this point where the Southern Super Series is paying $10,000 to win. And I give mad props to everybody. When is the price tag too much, Bubba? Do you feel like, because, okay, hindsight 2020 here, you won the race on Saturday, you did, but you only had 21 super late models for $10,000 to win. And then you do what? The Snowball Derby's $25,000, $28,000 to win, and you have 50, 60 cars. Mind you, I know that is the crown jewel of super late model racing. I get that. The Snowball Derby's like the World 100 for dirt. I get it. But when is the price tag too much? When are we going to be putting too much money in paying for you drivers to win, and that's going to start to hurt this industry, or has it already started that, Bubba?
Well, I think the only reason they're paying all this money is what they're paying now is because of TV. If the TV deal is not there, then your big purses aren't there. So, I think that goes to show you that it doesn't matter what you pay. People are going to come when they want to and when they want to race. I think it matters of how you pay back through the field.
Sure.
I think it matters of how much it costs nowadays to go racing. So I don't think it's necessarily paying us too much or not paying us enough. I think it's just a overall cost of hotels, just going racing in general that it takes to do this stuff. So, the TV deal is helping them pay the purse right now. Hopefully, that can keep going.
And now the TV deal could also be the streaming. I mean, there's been a lot of conversations on social media about, is streaming hurting racing, Bubba? What do you think of that? I mean, you're a promoter at Sonoy Raceway. Obviously, I know you have Flow Racing come in. You do stuff with Racing America. Obviously, Racing America does the Southern Super Series. You have Flow Racing do the Smart Modified Tour and the other events that we covered. I did this past weekend. And that was a conversation that I had with somebody as a promoter on the phone the other day as well. Is the streaming hurting the fans from coming to the racetrack? And you're a driver / promoter.
That's a question I can't answer, because we'll never really know. Because I'm at the same time, I'm here racing at Cordele. I'm racing at Cordele last weekend. Well, I got my phone out because I paid my subscription watching what's going on at Sonoy.
Right.
So then I'm helping Sonoy Raceway. So, but then I'm hurting it because I'm not there and all my guys are down there. You know what I mean? So there's pros and cons to it. That's something we'll never know. I think it's one aspect is good, one aspect is not. We won't never know. I mean, it's giving people the opportunity to maybe come to some races. Hey, I want to go there because they've seen it on streaming now. You know, where they would have never went there before. So, and then it hurts you if it rains. Well, I can sit here and watch it if it's cold outside. You know, as long as the streaming and the TV guys are doing their part and giving back to the racetrack, then everything's fine. So that's a tough question to answer. Really.
Certainly. Hey, Bubba Pollard, one more question, man. We'll let you go. Where are you racing at next? And also in closing, thank your sponsors. We've got Chad McCumbee coming up here next.
Yeah, we're looking forward to running the doubleheader next week. Southern Super Series race at Five Flags Speedway Friday night and a Saturday night. So we're looking forward to going there. It's a place I always enjoy going. And at TM Ranch Ford or Chevrolet this year is hopefully we can get it back in Victory Lane and 5-star racing bodies and Port City race cars, TM Ranch and HP Elite racing engines, PFC brakes, certain motorsports, everyone that helps me out. I can't thank them enough for being a part of Pollard Motorsports.
Looks like a very impressive schedule for sure. And, of course, that doubleheader at Five Flags Speedway will not disappoint. Of course, you can check it out if you can't be there live at Five Flags Speedway. I'm promoting streaming again on Racing America. So thank you. Bubba Pollard, enjoy the rest of your day, man. Thanks for all you do in the racing industry. Sonoy Raceway, the TM Ranch 26. Congrats on the win at Crisp, and appreciate you being on Finish Line. As always, you win another big show. We'll have you back on again.
Well, I appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
No problem. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's Bubba Pollard. And, of course, coming off of a win. Charles, what's your take on that? You were in my ear, and actually, he couldn't heard you anyway, so that's why they really didn't say you have a question for Bubba Pollard. But you're in my ear, and hey, Raging Cajun's in the house. Hey, buddy. Joining me, I believe that's the Raging Cajun of John Muschin Jr. So he says, hey, I'm joining you, my sidekick. Charles, obviously, we were talking to Bubba about this. You know, he's a promoter at Sonoy Raceway. We're going to get Chad McCumbee on here in just a moment. But I do want to get your take on that because, you know, I tried to open the door about streaming, and he's like, man, it's a win-win, lose-lose here. And we both work in that field.
But we do actually. I think I told you about this. I'm not sure. I'm not doing it yet because of prior obligations. But here in the near future, I did talk to Patrick Hahey these last 2 days about doing remote producing for them, for Racing America. So, you know, that is, it is going to happen. I will make sure it happens. I'm very interested in it. So yeah, I'm very into it as well. I just, you know, right now I have prior obligations that I couldn't get out of.
Sure.
But yeah, you know, I think it's a win for everyone as long as the streaming companies or the TV companies that are making this money give back to the racetrack. I think it's a win. And we do have guests too. I see his mic, but I don't see his picture anymore. But that's what we're waiting on at the moment. But, you know, like Race on Texas did it, and I think they still do it. I'm not sure. They've changed up a little bit where, you know, they were splitting the profits. It was $40 a month, and they split it 50-50 with the track. And these tracks were getting, you know, $2,500, $3,000 a month.
Sure.
So, you know, and that was into the winter months too. When there's no racing, people keep their memberships. The track's still making money. You know, you think about it, you stop racing in October, you get November, December, January, February, maybe March if it's cold, that you're just racking in money. That's a good way, you know, boom, you could start out of the gate with a big, you know, big race for your classes, or you can save it up and do improvements to the track. So I definitely think it's a good thing if it's done right. And, you know, by right, I mean, you know, if you're raking in, if you got, you know, 10,000 members on your subscription.
It's got to be a win-win for everybody, Charles.
It definitely does.
It can't be the streaming people are profiting all the bucks and the tracks are, well, they're getting, you know, and I always hear, well, we're giving you exposure. Okay, well, damn it all. If I want exposure, I'll pay my own money and I'll do it myself, which honestly,
let's be honest here. You're seeing racetracks that are doing their own streaming because they're only trying to profit money from what other people were doing. And I get that. But you got to come up with a strategy where everybody is going to make money. So I think we're ready for our next guest. Let's go to Chad McCumbee in Supply, North Carolina. He was the winner of the Cars Tour event at Southern. It's a black screen. There he is. Chad McCumbee is joining us on the program now, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, he's coming off for the winner of round number 2 of the Solid Rock Carriers Cars Tour event at Hunter Speedway. Chad McCumbee, it's always good talking to you, man. Welcome back to Finish Line. I think it's your first time on Finish Line.
I think it is. Thanks for having me.
Always good seeing you, talking to you, whether it's at the racetrack or here on the media side of things. Man, big win for you. Wow, what a program. And I will tell you this as well, before we go any further, big 2 weeks for you because you won at Sebring a couple of weeks ago in the road course car, and then you win in the late model.
Yeah, no, it was really good 2 weeks. Momentum is everything in this sport, and we certainly had it from Sebring all the way to Hickory. And, even the week before at Caraway, we had a lot of bad luck, but had a really good Aaron's Ford. So hopefully we can parlay that into more good finishes the remainder of the Cars Tour season and the IMSA season for that matter.
How do you go from running an IMSA car to running a late model car, obviously, and a track different from Hickory, from Caraway, and just in adapting so quickly to the changes in the driving and the styles of it?
Well, I've been fortunate to do this for a long time, and circle track racing was my home and where I grew up and what I know. But the sports car world was new to me about 10 years ago, and I've been very fortunate to not only drive for Mazda but now drive for Ford in their IMSA program and supporting their Mustang GT4. So been to all these tracks and somewhat learned them all now. Occasionally we'll go to a place that I don't know and we'll have to do some learning, but it's been a wild ride. And I actually think that there's a lot of things that transition from the road race world that have helped with the circle track world even. So I certainly think that because of all that experience, I'm better now than I was 10 years ago.
Definitely. I'll tell you what, we were talking with Chad McCumbee, and people, if you did not know, okay, if you've never seen the movie, and this is back in the early 2000s, okay, mid 2000s, if you've never seen the movie 3 with Barry Pepper playing Dale Earnhardt Sr., Chad McCumbee was Dale Earnhardt Jr. in that movie. Do you still get royalties from that for what you did, or was that just one off? How did you get that role, by the way?
Yeah, I still got $1.50 every now and then. It's not as much as it used to be, but no, just happened chance. I was in the right place at the right time, and worked for the company and the school Fast Track Racing that did all the cars for the movie with Andy Hillenberg, and they saw me and put me in, and I think they were having a hard time finding somebody that could fit the role. So really fortunate to be able to do that. Acting is nothing that I wanted to do ever in my career, but at that particular time I was a late model racer at Myrtle Beach, and I was washing cars and cleaning bathrooms and mopping floors and doing whatever I could to make it in this sport.
Chad,
so that instant recognition and helped me with some on-time camera.
Chad, it's got to be, as much as I've announced at Myrtle Beach Speedway on several occasions, the Myrtle Beach 400 and all the other big shows they had. And, of course, I remember my dad taking me to the Myrtle Beach 400 when it was the All-Pro Series. It was not late models and super trucks and weekly. It was a 400-lap All-Pro Series event to close out the year for NASCAR. As a driver, what's your take of missing Myrtle Beach Speedway, Chad?
It's certainly a bummer. Place had a lot of history. I feel like it was one of the most unique racetracks that we could go to in our area, in our region. It's a shame it's not here anymore, but it's a part of what we knew that was coming at some point. It just, we didn't know when, and so it's hard to somewhat prepare for when that time does come. But, for our team here in North Carolina, it allowed us to venture out and start doing some of this touring and a little bit of a learning curve, and tried to find a new home just over in Florence, South Carolina. And Steve Zacharias and his whole crew from Myrtle Beach went over there, and they're doing a great job. So always we'll find a place to race. There's a bunch of really good racetracks in our area. We really enjoy going over to Dillon Motor Speedway and what Ron Barfield does over there. He's got a really racy racetrack. And then, we've ventured up to Jacksonville and the new Goodyear All-American Speedway, Carteret. We've got a bunch of racetracks, so we can hopefully fill that Myrtle Beach void.
Yeah, speaking of Goodyear All-American Speedway, their next race will be, of course, they're coming off of the He Too Strong Four-Cylinder Nationals event. That was a big event, of course, Robert Stremka winning that event. And they've got a first night race coming up, not this Saturday, but next Saturday night, first night race of the year. And then you mentioned Carteret County Speedway, Bobby Watson's Carteret County Speedway, Bob Lowry and Judy and everybody involved there. And they've got a $10,000 to win Solid Rock Carriers Big Money Series race this Saturday. Are you going to be there for that event?
No, we're still actually in the process of building and rebuilding cars for our Cars Tour campaign this year, and obviously the car coming off of Hickory is in really good shape, but we're trying to build more in the stable and be prepared for that Cars Tour season. So we've got our eyes set on Greenville and Jacksonville as our next two events, and but hopefully we'll be able to venture out and do some other stuff with Sam a little bit later in the year.
Definitely. And we've got a couple of questions that are coming in, and I would love to Charles, you got anything? And I'll be able to take a look at the question box real quick. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to ask their questions. I really got nothing. So being the class clown I am here, I'm the goofy side of this. We were talking about this last night. This is the dumbest question ever, but if you had to pick one, would you rather have anchovies on your pizza or pineapple?
Oh my
Probably
goodness.
pineapple. mainly because that's what my wife likes on her pizza.
We had this big debate last night during a broadcast because we had a 50-minute delay on iRacing. And Wesley, I believe you have people asking about that.
Yes, I know what it's like to have a 50-minute make-do rain delay for iRacing. Chad, do you do iRacing? Do you try to dabble on the iRacing servers any? And, of course, as you all know, Myrtle Beach Speedway is available on iRacing, so you can always go back and have racing memory simulation style with that.
Yeah, I used to before I had children, and then but after that thing's.
There you go. Well, when the kids come, life changes for sure. Let's see here. Pineapple. Well, all right, guys, stop it here now. Okay. And by the way, Chad, you're amongst history because of the first time we've normally done Finish Line on the radio as well as on the YouTube LSR Productions, but now we're also on Facebook. So I think we're getting a new audience of people, and that's where all these questions are coming in. So thank you very much. I'm going to try to go through them as much as I can here. Pretty neat. Chad McCumbee portrayed Dale Jr. in the movie biopic about, yes, exactly. Okay. Yes. So, yes, chats are coming in. Questions are coming in. We appreciate them. So, Chad, man, what's your take of where we are in this industry, man? We had Bubba Pollard on just a few moments ago. You can bring me back on the double box, Charles, if you want. Where are we at in this industry now, in your eyes, from late model stock car racing? We had a super late model racer in Bubba Pollard talk about things. Where do you see the Cars Tour and late model stock racing in general on the cusp of the start of the season? We've not even reached the, South Boston finale and the Valley Star 300 and the Hampton Heat 200 and the Fall Brawl and all the big races coming up at the end of the year.
Well, I think from a competition standpoint and a competitor standpoint, I think things are as strong as they've ever been. The Cars Tour is obviously the elite late model stock racing in our area, and it's like going to a big race every single week. So what Jack and Keely and everybody and Chris and everybody over there have done over the last few years, that series is just as tough as almost any series I've ever been able to participate in. So super strong from that standpoint. I think the funding and the talent level, not only on the racetrack, but the talent level of people working on the cars, it's pretty second to none. And it's amazing the familiar faces I see in that garage versus what I've saw, over the years in the larger series. So, and I think I see the same thing on the sports car world. There's record entries in the IMSA division that I participate in. And again, the quality of the field is up too. So, from a fan base, I can't speak of that because I don't see the ticket sales and I don't see the live stream numbers and that type of stuff. But
Sure.
I hope that that's on the rise as well. I think that you're seeing our big series or our big 3 series national series transition a little bit on some things that they're doing, obviously. So we'll see what the future holds, but hopefully we can figure out how to get some tires, and that's the first thing I think that's going to keep us all going.
How do you save the tires? We had one person on last week, Langley Austin, or 2 weeks ago. We were talking about stuff with involving the tires and promotions, and NASCAR and the Valley Star 300 last year had a 6-tire limit. I think you were there for that event, and that was strictly enforced, and somehow they knocked it out of the park. Landon Pimbleton picking up the win. We had him on finish line when he won the race last year. And then you go to a race like the 30,000 to win Solid Rock Carriers Cars Tour event, the Old North State Nationals at Caraway, and I think they were buying 4 sets of tires. How do you police and manage and save, for that matter, as a race car driver and a team to try to be on that winning edge, to try to save your tires to be at the finish?
Well, I mean, I think that just the tire allotment is obviously a struggle right now. But generally it's the same for everybody. So I think what I'm noticing thus far is people are racing more. They're racing more, I think, literally probably to increase that tire count,
Right.
If you've got a couple of tires that you can save from a race and go practice on the next week, that's about all you can do, because there is no practice tires. Hopefully they'll continue to be race tires, but I have my concerns, and it is a challenge, but it's the same for everybody. So we've all got to deal with it. We've all got to try to make the best decisions and not make tons of laps in practice. We generally probably practice too much anyway in late model stock racing right now. You see people testing. We do it during the middle of the week, and then you're showing up for the race weekend, and you've got tremendous amount of practices. So I think it's going to force us to just do a lot less of that and a lot more work in the shop, and hopefully make those right decisions moving forward.
Final question, and go ahead, Charles. What's up, bud?
Well, we talked about this. I just had to throw this in. So, should maybe the super late model series do like they do in dirt racing? They say racing starts at 7, and from 6:30 to 7, there's a 30-minute window. They put them out there to shake the car down, give them 2 laps, green, white, checkered, and get off. And you have that 30-minute period. And if you don't go out there, you don't practice. And just give them those, maybe 5 laps on tires, and then that's it. No extra practice.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's certainly an idea. I mean, it's become such the norm to do a tremendous amount of practicing and testing on the pavement side of things, that I think there could be an advantageous direction there to try to limit that to some degree. I think people would probably absolutely freak out if they cut it way down like that immediately. But we're going to probably be forced to police it ourselves anyway. So. But that being said, I hope the Hoosier is able to catch up, and some of the other tire manufacturers. We haven't seen a problem on the sports car world yet. I'm not sure exactly why, and I'm not sure what the differences are, but it's certainly a problem with.
Certainly is. Certainly a problem on the short track racing level. So listen, hey, Chad McCumbee, thank you for your time, man. I know you're a busy man just like we are. You're right there at your office at work. Thank you for being on Finish Line. Congratulations on your win at Hickory. And before we do let you go, sir, we do want you to thank your sponsors.
All right, no, big thanks goes to everybody on our team that just put so much effort in. Robert Elliott has done a tremendous amount for Sam and I and everybody at McCumbee Elliott Racing, and him bringing Aaron's on board to support us, and Heritage Trucking. We've got a lot of people that just put a lot of time into this program, and they're unpaid, and they get out there and test with us and do so much for us just outside of the racetrack to make this program work. And it's all about the success, and we were able to give it to them last weekend. So Renegade Fuels, there's a lot of people that want to see us continue to have success, and hopefully we can do that.
And by the way, it was good seeing Adam McCumbee at Caraway in the super truck on Saturday as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We haven't really got to go race with Adam a whole lot here lately, but That was his first venture outside of Florence or Myrtle Beach, so new track to him. It sounds like things went relatively well. I think they were on a used tire program, so I think that was a little bit of a challenge to him to figure that out. But I think he adapted really well, and hopefully I can get to the racetrack with him sometime soon.
And it's just ironic because the next guest here on Finish Line after you, Chad, is the winner of that Super Truck Series event at Caraway. Chad, thank you for your time, buddy. All that you do in the racing industry. Be safe out there, and we appreciate you being on today.
All right. Thanks again for having me.
There you go. There's Chad McCumbee. Now we go from Chad McCumbee in Supply, North Carolina to Mullen, South Carolina, and Robert Tyler joins us. What a great segue. Charles, you can't make this stuff up, but it's live. It's live. Great segue. Picking up the win in the Atlantic Turfscape Super Truck Series is Robert Tyler. He joins us on Finish Line. Robert, good afternoon to you, buddy. Robert. Can we hear you? I think you froze up. We'll try this again here. Let's try to reset. Robert, can you hear me, bud?
Hey.
Hello? So Robert, disconnect and try. There we go. Okay, so we turn you sideways like this.
Yeah.
There you go.
There we are.
Yes, sir. Robert Tyler, welcome to Finish Line, my friend.
Thanks, Wesley. Good to see you.
It's always good talking to you. Congratulations, as I said. I don't know how much you caught there, but it looked like it was a segue with Chad McCumbee setting it up perfectly because we were mentioning Adam McCumbee in the Truck Series. And, of course, you picked up the win. Round number 2 of the Atlantic Turfscape Super Truck Series. Anthony and Tanya Goodyear All-American Speedway. Not only that, have a Truck Series back in the Southeast. I think that's really great. I'm not taking anything away from the Southeast Super Truck Series, but you did a phenomenal job winning at Caraway Saturday night.
Thank you. I'm glad Anthony and Goodyear All-American Speedway put that on with Caraway. It was good to be back in the truck. We don't get to race much. That's probably the first time I've been in it since about 9 or 10 months ago.
Yeah, and I mean, that's something that I got to give props to Anthony Goodyear. They realized that they saw that there was a need. Look, super truck racing used to be big, and that was one of the things I was saying on the broadcast with Alan Todd on Saturday night at Caraway was that, the super trucks used to be a big class. They'd have a big field of trucks. They were fun. They were exciting, and they're just different. They're majestic. I always talk about the modified cars and the way that they are. You might see a snooze fest single file parade, but just looking at those cars, hearing the engines is just exciting and mystique itself. Well, the same thing can be said about these super trucks also, because I tell everybody, in my opinion, some of the best racing the last 5 years in NASCAR. Now, everybody's doing great across the board this year. I'm loving the next-gen car. But super trucks, what is it like driving a super truck? Is it different than driving a late-model car, obviously, Robert?
Yeah, it's a lot different than a late-model car. You're about 300 pounds lighter. It's basically a super late-model chassis. I drive a Port City chassis, which is an offset chassis, and I have to carry a 50-pound weight break or a 50-pound add-on penalty for that. But when they made the rules, to me, it was worth the penalty to go with the straight rail chassis. But now, after driving it, I've driven one that's a regular super truck, and I've driven the offset, and I really can't tell the difference between the two of them. Speed's there with either one of them. We were fortunate to have Taylor Strickland, who normally helps out Clint King, set the truck up for us back end of last year, and he was with us on Saturday. And I've worked with several different crew chiefs, but this was one of the first times I've shown up to the track, very first time ever working with someone, and had such a good truck off the trailer. It was a pleasure to drive it.
So Robert Tyler again joining us here on Finish Line, and again, a big win. Well, your take of this truck series, do you think it's going to get bigger and get better? Obviously, you went from 18, 19 trucks that, of course, the winter thaw race, of course, the icebreaker at Florence, that was in February. Then you move into a month and a half later and racing season's in full bore, and you only had 7-8 trucks come to Caraway. But but we honestly believe, Robert, that it's the tire shortage, obviously, because there's a certain compound tire that the trucks have to run. Does Anthony and Tanya might need to look at maybe changing that compound? Do they need to go back to the R&D center, or do we just need to wait patiently for the tires to be available? Because we know for a fact, Robert, the trucks are out there.
They are. There's definitely a lot of trucks. There's no shortage of them. People haven't sold them. I know a lot of people that have them that are just sitting in their shops right now. The biggest thing, Wesley, is definitely the tire problem. And it's not the used tires we've got a lot of used tires. The problem is they're 5 years old and they're all junk because they've been raced on and sold 5 times over by the tracks. And some of the tires that I saw on Saturday, I mean, you couldn't even get a tape measure in them. Like look at Cody Kelly's truck. He was off a lot because he just had some terrible tires. He was good on Friday at testing, and then Saturday he was just out to lunch because of what he had to race on. If they want to get the trucks out on the track, they got to put them on 4 tires. The guys that own these trucks don't care about spending $600, $700 on a set of tires with what Anthony's paying to start the race. It's a very fair purse. A lot of these trucks have 50, 60,000 in them, just like a late model does. They're really no different. We just either got to get on a 2-tire rule. Maybe we start the first race of the year on 4 tires. You turn your 2 tires in off your left side, and then you buy 2 new right sides the next race. And that way you're recycling tires. You're getting basically your purse money back by starting, or your tire money back by starting the race. So it's either got to go to a 2 or a 4 tire deal, because the luck of the draw with the tires takes a lot of the work out of it for people, and they just don't want to go battle that right now.
And I'll say this here on Finish Line, and this is the honest truth. We've had NASCAR drivers from the Cup Truck Xfinity level. We've had ARCA drivers. We've had drivers that race on dirt or pavement on a full-time status. But so far, we've had guys like Bubba Pollard, who's one of the greats of super late model racing on pavement. He's not. He doesn't do this for a full-time career. He has a job. Chad McCumbee, the same thing. He's been a movie star in the movie 3. He still has a full-time job. Robert Tyler Ewer's as grassroots as they come. And obviously there is a love and there is a passion for the sport, but you guys also have that 9-to-5 work life to provide for the family, provide for the loved ones, provide for the wife and the kids. And in the end, and as I told somebody this the other day, Robert, we're hurting. We are the ones that are hurting. We are the ones that are American people that are hurting with the high prices of expenses or shortages of parts because we can't do what we love as that weekly endeavor, as a getaway, as an excursion from that crazy diversion we call life. We can't we can't go out and do things on a leisurely like we used to because we got to stretch the budget on fuel. We either got to pay the light bill or the gas bill to either go race a car. And the powers that be are also suffering because they're not getting the products made. And if they do get the products made, supply and demand kicks in. You got to up prices for them to make people buy them to offset the cost that they've lost. And then in doing so, us as people of lovers of racing, we're hurting from it. Whether you're an announcer, whether you're a driver, whether you're a promoter, it's going to affect everybody. And most of all, I think it's affecting the fans.
Yeah, I mean, it goes back to the first part of the segment where you were talking about tracks kind of taking over their own streaming. To me, they're about 5 years behind the ball. That should have been something they learned, 5 years ago. Once they saw that out there, you got to think, what's the future? Is instead of pushing it away, they should have embraced it. And now they could have built up that following to 5, 10, 15,000 fans and had that revenue year round instead of pushing it away. And then when it comes to a lot of the guys that are legacy late model guys like me who just can't afford to run on that scale anymore because we have kids now, you got jobs to work. You can't afford to do everything. Not that you can't afford the money part of it, but the time part of it. That's what gets most expensive to me because I run my own business. My wife works, she's an executive with Newell Rubbermaid, and we're both gone a lot. And it's hard for me to get away and go play with the kid or go race and not play with the kids. So that's why we scaled back. We do about 5 races a year, and I make the most out of the 5 weekends I get to go play.
Robert, Charles, do you want to chime in here on our subject? What do you think about what we're saying, bud? Do you agree?
I definitely agree. And I saw this firsthand, when I was doing a lot of work for Race on Texas and I was filming and stuff. We went to the promoter at the track before he closed it and trying to sell it. In my opinion, because I don't think he was making the money that he wanted, but that was it. We first approached him and he's like, nope, I don't want nothing to do with live streaming. It's going to take away from the fans. When we were offering literally 50% of the profits come back to you. And these tracks that said, nope, I don't want nothing to do with that, they lost out because those tracks that jumped on it right away, like RPM Speedway, and a couple of others, they were the first in the gate. And they saw the biggest profit. Like I said earlier, they were getting $3,000 checks a month and some even more. And so those ones that didn't jump on it are probably hurting right now. And they should have. You've got to embrace the future. And, if it was a bad deal, no. But, it was a good deal. Embrace it. And, make it work for everybody.
Robert,
everybody's got access. Everybody's got
go ahead.
Access
I'm sorry. Go ahead and
Facebook,
finish.
Right? Everybody's got access to
Sure.
Facebook. These tracks have 3, 4, 5, 10,000 followers or 20,000 followers on some of these local tracks. Why aren't they running ads in their area to promote the streaming of their racing? It's cheap to do a Facebook ad. They could run that for $500 a month, hit everybody in the area around the racetrack, and promote their streaming service from there. It's just too many avenues for them to grow the business, and they just look around wondering why no cars are there. It's frustrating to see it, but it's kind of their own fault by not, this isn't 1980 where people have nothing else to do but go to a racetrack. The game has changed, and they haven't changed with it.
Robert, I agree with you to a certain extent, but I also think of the mindset of a promoter because, no, I don't have a racetrack now, but I've promoted race events. I promoted stock car racing, drag racing, dirt, pavement karting. The concept is the streaming has got to be a win-win for everybody. It's got to be a win-win for your audience. It's got to be a win-win for the people that are putting on the event. If it's not going to be that, then people are going to have hurt feelings, and that's why you might see it there one week, and then the next week it's not there again, or the next time they come back it's not there again, or there's changes being done. For instance, prime example, Caraway Speedway has their own TV streaming platform. I'm the voice of that series. They were live. There's the Smart Modified Tour. We got Caleb Heddy coming up next, winner of that race. When the Smart Modified Tour was on track at any time, we had to kill the broadcast on Caraway Speedway TV because of contracts and because of obligations and because of all of the headache that is the broadcast rights of all of that. And I totally understand that. But, you get some people that are frustrated and they're like, well, man, I paid for a subscription to watch, all of these events. Why are we not seeing the Smart Modifieds on Caraway TV? Well, you got to go to Flow Racing and you have an account. You got to subscribe and be yearly or monthly to see it. Charles, I know you want to say something about that, but yeah, I mean, but that's kind of where we're at right now. I remember a couple of years ago when it all started at Volusia. Prime example, there were 3 networks that were all fighting for the same coverage on the same night of the Dirt Car Nationals. You had Dirt Vision, you had Flow, and I believe it was Speed Shift, I think it was, or someone else, and you had to go off of 3 separate feeds to watch what was going on. Charles, go ahead.
Yeah. And it can be, that is a simple workaround. I when I was filming at Monarch for Race on Texas, and Flow came in because Tony Stewart's series was there. Fun series to watch, by the way. We just worked out a simple deal. It's not that hard to where we said, hey, we're here weekly. Can we film this in exchange if we catch a wreck or you want part of our footage? We'll give it to you. It's that simple. Then everybody gets to watch. We all get to film. And we share with each other. Hey, I'll show you this wreck if you miss it. And I did. Same thing when the midgets came in. We share that footage with them. We've even done it to the point we still do it now to where if we're there filming, they'll just pipe in our feed to theirs and use it. We'll do the production for them. I mean, it's just people need to work together better is what it comes down to.
Yes. I think that's exactly what it comes down to. And then Robert, with a class like the Atlantic Turfscape Super Truck Series, which it was a great race, by the way. You guys put on an awesome show. I mean, you had one guy bouncing off the wall, and he hit the wall, and what was that? Jamie York driving the Goodyear truck. He hit the wall and the sparks and hit the concrete dust flying through the air. And I told somebody this. It was like, this is how cool these super trucks are, because they drove off into the corner. Robert, you guys were in a pack 2x2x2x2 for at least the first 6 or 8 laps of the race. I mean, it was like drafting, if you would.
Yeah, the invert certainly made it a lot better show. I didn't mind starting in the back like that. It's actually fun to pass cars. I'm not one of them that just likes to start from the pole, lead every lap, and bore the fans to death.
Right.
So it was a lot of fun. I was surprised at how much parity there was the first 10 laps, really, because nobody really pulled away until about lap 20. Even with Jamie hitting the wall, he was still pretty competitive all through the race. But those trucks are tough, man. They can take a lick and keep going. If that was in a late model stock these days, it would have been in the pits about a lap, 5 laps later. But it was able to stay up there, and we had a good race, and everything stayed pretty close. I'd like to thank Todd Kelly and his team for letting us borrow a carburetor. We had some carburetor issues all day. They let us borrow one for the race, and I appreciate that. And it was good to be out there, Wesley. Good to be interviewed by you. You're one of my top announcers I like to see and hear from, so it's good to be on your show.
Well, I appreciate that, man. I mean, that's one of the things you said was, dude, and I said, hey, man, I'm a regular old country boy from good old Clayton, Joco, North Carolina, that worked hard to be able to do what I get to do to, as some of my people, promoters that might not like me say, shoot my mouth off or, do what I do for a living. And, I don't have a full-time job, but I'll tell you, it takes work to do the stuff that we do. Man, I definitely – the preparation that goes into making this show happen, amongst everything else that I have going on, is full-time work. And if it wasn't for people like Charles and Jeff and the people behind on the production side of things, like this morning, hey guys, hey, guess what, Wesley? We're doing Facebook Live now. Well, hey, that just makes, I think, our streaming platform even more popular than the way we've done it before. So, and we thank you, the comments and questions and likes and follows. So, Robert, got a question? We'll let you go. We got to go to the top of the hour and thank our sponsors. Caleb Heddy's coming up next, the Smart Modified winner at Caraway. But how can they follow Robert Tyler on social media? I know you have a Facebook page, but are you not big on Facebook, Instagram?
No, I mean, I don't have a racing page or anything like that. It's just basically I post what we do on my regular Facebook page.
Gotcha.
So we just go with it off of there, and we're just a little family team having some fun on the weekends.
Well, listen, I'm sending you a friend request right now. And as you can tell, let's see here, okay? As you can see here, I've maxed out at the lettering's too small. I'm sorry. The lettering's too small, but this
you got to
out at 5,000. So somebody's about to get kicked off live on Finish Line, okay? So, Charles, I think it's going to be you. No, I can't do that to Charles. All right, so, Robert, somebody's going to get unfriended here on Finish Line because I got to add you here. So, but I'm going to – you tell me when to say stop, and then I'll stop, and whoever it is, that's the person that gets eliminated.
Now.
Justin Strickland. Now, let's do that again. I can't remove him. He's like, friend. Let's go.
You better find one of them random pit lizards you got on there. Let them go.
Don't even go there. Wow. You know what? Okay. Pamela Michelle, I'm sorry you have been eliminated off of my Facebook, so I can send a friend request to Mr. Robert Tyler. So, Robert, Charles, you made the cut. I promise you. So, hey, man, thanks for being on Finish Line. Before I do let you go, thank your sponsor, sir.
My only sponsor is me, myself, and I. So that's about all I've got for sponsors. But I'd like to thank my team for helping me. Upchurch Racing Engines for a good motor, and Port City for a good chassis, and Taylor Strickland Racing.
You have been requested, Robert Tyler. There you go.
I just accepted you there, Wesley. You are good to go.
Thank you so much. And ladies and gentlemen, we're also at the top of the hour. We will pause for a moment and take our commercial and network ID. We'll come back for hour number 2 of Finish Line next.
Let me tell you about MPM McAllister Precision Marketing. They can assist up-and-coming racers with career advancement, promotion, and assist in sponsorship procurement. MPM also has media and professional etiquette training. They work with premier driver development teams and limited late models to late models, and they also help the teams to make it up to the levels of K&N, ARCA, Truck Series, and even NASCAR Xfinity. Contact Tanya McAllister today at McAllister Precision Marketing, 803-361-6199. Today, get on the board with MPM.
CrateInsider.com is your one source for crate racing tech and more. Whether you currently race with a crate engine or you are thinking about getting into the sport, our website has what you need. CrateInsider.com has tech videos, interviews with experts, and the best products in the industry. Dyno tested and proven, so we know they are the best products for crate engines. Visit CrateInsider.com today to get on the fast track to victory lane.
Hey, it's broadcast personality Wesley Outland, and for the second year in a row, the Community Radio Network is excited to also be the voice of iRacing on LSRTV every Monday and Thursday night with the Northwest Racing Series for Cup and Truck. Join yours truly, Justin Prince and Samuel Dyer, every week as they race towards a championship. We're also on the radio in the Triangle in the Raleigh-Durham, North Carolina area at 87.5 WCRN and anywhere worldwide at wearecrn.com. Click play, check out the coverage, the power of radio to the imagination of the listener, esports style. We are the Community Radio Network, the voice of iRacing on LSR TV. Check it out when you can, and replays are always up too.
Hey, welcome back to Finish Line. We are in hour number 2. I'm Wesley Outland. You're in the hot seat, and we're ready to rock and roll and keep on going. And now we go from the Atlantic Turfscape Super Truck winner at Caraway and Robert Tyler to the winner of his second Smart Modified Tour win, first win this year, and his first ever Smarty. Caleb, go get the Smarty. Where's the Smarty at? Go get it.
Man, I'm not at home, man. I should have brought him.
Oh, okay.
I wish I had him on me.
Okay. I'll give you a pass this time. Winner of the Smarty at Caraway Speedway on, of course, Saturday night is Caleb Hetty. Caleb Hetty is in the house, and it's, I believe, his second time on Finish Line. And, of course, Caleb Hetty, driver of Legend Cars and so much more from Shelbyville, Kentucky, and, of course, all over the place. Welcome to Finish Line. Welcome back, my friend.
Thanks, man. I was very excited to get that text from you and be able to get back on here. It's always fun. So I'm very excited.
Well, man, it's always good talking to you, Caleb. And I will say this. I enjoyed being on the broadcast booth for Flow Racing with Eric Brennan, the voice of the Smart Modified Tour, calling the event that was the Warrior 99. A big props to what Chris Williams and J.B. Cole Jeff Button have done with that series. And it just continues to grow. And that's one of the things I'm saying. Amongst this crisis with the fuels and the tires and the rising costs of life and the economy, they've averaged close to 25 to 30 modifieds everywhere they've gone this year. And what does it be a winner on the series? And finally, somebody that puts a stop to Matt Hirschman winning because he pretty much was the dominator since the drop of the green this year at Florence and Southern National.
Yeah, it's cool. I definitely feel that we had a shot at him at Southern National. We had, complications with that race on our own side, but, to be able to kind of stop that, and not only that, but, we the TBR, my team ran down at World Series at New Smyrna and also dealt with the same thing, Matt Hirschman. So I was finally, the one that kind of went out there and beat him and, was able to put it in victory lane for the year. Of course, my man Jimmy Blewett won the championship down there in Florida.
Yes.
But I'm glad to finally be able to put a stop to, the 60 car finishing ahead of the 7 and Y.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what a special time it was, man. I think of how proud is Tommy Baldwin of you. I know he wasn't there, but that had to have been probably one of the first phone calls or text messages that had to have been done in social media when you got to the pit area after the celebration at Caraway Saturday night.
Yeah, it was so cool. I said in my interview, I'm like, well, Tommy's not even here. But we were all so excited. Me and Tommy had talked a couple of days prior to the race, talking about strategy and kind of what we wanted to do, and to be able to literally knock out what he wanted us to do to the T like perfectly was awesome. So he was very excited. I don't know who was more excited, me or him, but it was definitely a party once we got on the phone.
Caleb Heddy again joining us here on Finish Line. Yeah, Charles, I know you're a fan of dirt modifieds, but what do you think of pavement modifieds? What do you think of the drivers that live by the grace of God in 600 horsepower?
Asphalts are getting their dirts racing. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, if they're beating, banging, they got wheels and an engine, and it's on a short track, I'll tune in and watch it. I don't care. It doesn't matter. You know my thoughts of NASCAR. I don't like these big cookie cutter, mile and a half, super speedway stuff. I like it to where you actually have to use a brake. You got to know how to steer, and it comes down to, the driver and his crew of 2 people, wrenching on a car and going out there and showing their talent. NASCAR has talent, probably. I don't know. I don't watch it. But, short track racing, they,
hey, bring me, those are his words, not mine. Bring me back on the screen. Those are his words, not mine. Okay? Me and Caleb didn't say that. That was our producer. Okay?
You find NASCAR drivers from these short track series and these grassroots racings, and then, in my opinion, mine from behind the scenes, when you get to NASCAR, it's not about talent as much; it's about money, and I like it. The grassroots, where it's about talent, and it's same thing. And I'll knock football too. It's like college football. College football is about heart and, loving the sport. And then when you get to NFL, it's about, hey, I want $10 million instead of $5 million. I think the grassroots racing is where it's at. I think there's more heart in it, and drivers actually, doing it just because they love the sport.
There's the soapbox of Charles. By the way, the opinions of his are his and his alone. They are not of our guests or myself as host of Finish Line. Caleb, you want to comment on that, brother? Oh, he's got to take a swig of drink here to give his rebuttal. No, but listen though, Caleb. I mean, I honestly say I see his point, and you as well. You see guys that are really damn good on the dirt and the pavement on the short track levels, running legend cars like yourself. Look at what you did in Legends cars. And you go from a Legends car to a modified car, and you adapt, and you catch on to things very, very well. Look at Chad McCumbee. He won in the IMSA Sebring, and then he turns around a week later and he wins in the late model stock car at Hickory. It's all about knowing how to adapt quickly to these race cars and change tune and quickly being competitive. Obviously, am I right, Caleb?
Yeah, it's the grassroots side of things is just completely different, and you're never going to get those two different types of like platforms similar. I'm perfectly fine where I'm at. I like the grassroots side of things. I like my short tracks, but I also like paychecks. So we'll see.
There you go. We all like. Hey, look. We all like paychecks. We all like paychecks. 2 came in the mail today, finally. So I'm happy. Yes, we all like paychecks for sure. Now you just got to make sure they don't bounce. Is it exactly? The lights didn't get turned off this time, Charles. Remember that time we were live on the air and the lights went out? See, it's tough being a broadcaster. You don't pay the bills, the power goes out. So but no, I'm just messing. But Caleb, listen, the Smart Modified Tour, where do you see it's gone, man, in 2 years? Obviously, it's become exciting. It's become fun. It's become on a status of any given night, anybody can win. Obviously, I know Matt Hirschman. But Matt Hirschman's the best of the best when it comes to modified racing. But I love the fact that this past weekend proved that strategy can put anybody in the contender to win this race. And mind you, you did a heck of a job to win. You were holding, I think I said in the broadcast call, it was the young rookie driver holding off the veteran Lions of Burt Myers, Matt Hirschman, and Bobby Labonte, a NASCAR Cup Series champion, and you held them off at bay to win.
Yeah, the smarts were really cool. Of course, you got to be fast and you got to be able to put down laps and really, really understand how to drive the car to win. But if you don't get the right strategy and if you don't get it in the ballpark, you're not even going to have a chance at it. Our Southern National run goes to show for that. Um, we had a little mess up, and I felt we were the fastest car there, and I felt we easily could have won the race. Easily could have, battled with Hirschman, but just bad strategy inhibits us to getting to that point. It's really good because you got to have not only a good car and a good driver, you have to have a good crew, good person,
Sure.
calling the race for you. Those races are so much fun. Spark Tour is doing great. When I started, there was the rebirth of it, and it was my first time, doing a big car series. And of course, even if it was even if it was some local track, it would have seemed so cool to me, so big and so professional. But just from where we started at in Caraway last year to right now is
Sure.
just changed dramatically, and I applaud them, and I'll say it straight to Chris Williams' face. They're doing an amazing job, and I love how they're going about everything and what's in store for us.
And they've got a tribute to Ray Hendrick, the Flying 99, coming up this Saturday at South Boston Speedway. And again, there's another event that will be broadcast on Flow Racing. I don't want to open up this door here because we talked about it with some other guests like Bubba Pollard, McCumbee, and of course also Robert Tyler. But, the streaming platform of things, Caleb, I think you've had coverage following you, whether it's been the legend cars when you run legend cars to running the modifieds. What's the good and the bad you see in the broadcast streaming?
I like it. Let me think, probably my last 3 years in the racing, you can go along and pretty much watch every race I've ran. Back the last couple of years, all 60 of them for the season. But I really like it. Not only from, just my standpoint, thinking it's cool. It's like, oh, hey, you want to watch? But it's just really good for everybody to be able to see and get yourself out there. Of course, I'm 19, live at home, so it's great when people can't come. It's great for them to watch, and that's really the biggest benefit to me that I see firsthand. And that when I when I go to a track that doesn't have streaming, I have to tell everybody, like, everybody's all disappointed. So the way we're getting the streaming going and everything like that, pretty much it seems every racetrack we go to, I love it. Everybody's doing a great job with it.
The equivalent of live streaming today and a racetrack or series not doing it is the equivalent, Charles, might I add, Caleb, of back in the day when you went to a racetrack that had race monitor and they had timing and scoring, and then you go to a track out in the boondocks that doesn't have internet signal, no computer, in the DSL world, if anything, and you have to dial up internet, not DSL. That's what I meant, dial up, and you have to hand score. And people are like, well, we just went from a race that had time and score, and now we can't even see our times. I think, Charles, that's the best way to describe where we are now in the streaming platform if you're a racetrack and you're not broadcasting.
See, I'm hungry, so my description of this is like going to get a hamburger and not having the hamburger patty on it.
Oh, my goodness. Go get you something to eat. Go to the snack bar. Get this man some food. Hey, Caleb, Caleb, is your plan to race the Most Smart Modified Tour? Are you thinking championships? Has Tommy Baldwin got in your head, man? You're great. You're improving. You're adapting. You're getting better in this next year. Go for a title, or are you just kind of just lying in the weeds and just still trying to get experience?
Yeah, so Tommy, we're gonna run the full tour this year, and Tommy definitely wants to win the championship. Of course, I want to win everything that I can, and acquire the list, get everything that I could do.
Sure.
Whereas that be, us pushing for points, like we did this past weekend at Caraway, or just, going out there winning races. Big end goal, of course, is win the championship. But going from race to race, I'm just, find some more experience, get comfortable. I think that was my 10th or 11th race at Caraway. So I'm still new to it. I'm still learning. So race by race at the racetrack, I'm just like, let's get some more experience and get it settled in. Try to get myself comfortable, but definitely big picture for this year is the championship.
Well, by the way, up in Kentucky is where he's from, but I just got a notification that there's wildfires in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, and that's where Pigeon Forge and everything is at, Dollywood and whatnot. And I'm seeing here on a text that they're telling people to evacuate immediately in Gatlinburg. So our thoughts and prayers are with everybody in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. But definitely do not try to fight a wildfire. Get your stuff, get your things that you can, and get the heck out of there for sure. Like we always say in racing, cars can be replaced, bodies can't. The same thing can be said about your things and belongings and whatnot. Don't want to lose a life. So just got that notification there. So, well, Caleb, man, I'll tell you what, we're going to let you go here in just a few more minutes. But obviously, what win was more special? And I think I said that on the broadcast Saturday night. Was the win at Caraway and the way that you did it this past Saturday in the Warrior 99 so more than what you did at Florence back in March when you won your first?
Yeah, so the big difference, both races I had to fend off there at the end, and definitely was the lesser car when it came to tires there and that aspect. But at Florence, the difference was like I knew there was somebody back there. I knew that I had to go, but I wasn't too sure about the severity. At Caraway, we had to restart with 4 to go, and I knew exactly who was behind me. So Caraway was more like get up and do it. Like I had no choice but to win the race or or like feel embarrassed for myself. So getting out of the car in victory lane at Caraway definitely felt a lot better. Not putting anything down on that Florence win. That was amazing. My first win in the modified second race. But Caraway was definitely just a tick cooler. Just because of the pressure that was on me at the end.
So, final question: what's your favorite track you've raced at yet on the tour? And is there another track coming up that is the all-time favorite you're ready to race on?
Yeah, so my favorite that we've raced on previously is Florence or Ace. I'm a flat track type of guy.
Okay.
I know it's not a common thing, but from driving the legend cars, predominantly Charlotte Motor Speedway, Atlanta Motor Speedway, I've grown accustomed to the flat side of things, flat track, kind of how about you have to go getting the car turned. I just like it. It's a little bit more difficult, I feel. So definitely either Florence or Ace. The track I'm excited for, and perfect plug, is this weekend, South Boston. I was bummed last year that I didn't get to go. So I'm so excited for South Boston this weekend. We could go there and dead last, and I'll be smiling the whole time because I'm so excited just to see the place.
Yeah, South Boston is a special place for me, too. I remember going there as a kid. And, of course, I had a meeting with Charlie Hansen and with the NASCAR track at Wake County Speedway yesterday. And I'm going to be there on Friday for their 60th anniversary season opener and maybe doing some more things over there. And, you always remember those special moments. And I was just taken back that, okay, you're 19, right? So I'm double your age. I'm 38 years old. But I remember going upstairs. I'm not 50 years old. Shut up, Charles. You go upstairs. Look, it's the gray beard. I'm telling you, dude, I'm going to shave it off, Charles, because of you. I'm getting rid of it. Can't handle the gray anymore. Just for me, it just ain't cutting it. So you climb up the stairs at the press box, and I'm overlooking everything yesterday. And, I think I still have it in my – yeah, there it is. Come on. There you go. Wesley's telling the story on radio, and I can just show it to you. But, just looking at that right there, and I'm taken away, Caleb, because I remember, being a little kid, 5 years old, 4 years old, going to the racetracks and sitting in the grandstands and watching that race. And, shut up, Charles. Yeah, I know the paint and everything has, been done, and you can always put some paint and lipstick and make it look better. But one thing for certain is you close your eyes or you look at it and you think of the history, you think of the memories. I think of the first time my dad gave me a checkered flag, and I was waving that damn flag all over the place, hitting people in the head, playing with people. And my dad broke those flags and whipped my ass on the way home. That's what's wrong with our world today. They don't punish kids anymore. I got in trouble because I misbehaved, and now it's like, well, you're going to go to jail if you punish. But, I remember going to the racetracks and doing those things and sitting in the racetracks. I remember the battles with Big Jim Kelly and Randy Renfro. Funny thing, you mentioned Randy Renfro. I mentioned Randy, Caleb. He was there at Caraway. on Saturday with the number 2 Brandon Ward modified car.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, no, there's segues, Charles. There's talking about the history of Wake County Speedway and watching the races and watching the drivers. And Randy Renfro raced at Wake County, and he's at Caraway with Brandon Ward. And listen, let Charles say what he wants to, Caleb. Think what you want. I'm old as a damn dinosaur if you want to say that. But I've been around a long time, and racing's like for anyone else. I've loved it since I was 4 or 5 years old. And now I'm blessed to have a career in it amongst other sports that I do. Well, listen, Caleb, before we let you go ahead. I thought we lost signal. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was like, no, it'll always be something I want to surround myself with, regardless of how everything goes. Being a little tiny kid watching a NASCAR race, don't really know what's going on, but all I see is cars going fast. I'm like, I dig it too. How I am now. I can never see myself leaving the sport in all totality.
That's right. Caleb, thanks for your time, bud. We appreciate you being on Finish Line. Thank your sponsors, and we got Michael Brown coming up next.
Yeah, so 2 big ones I want to thank. Thank Tommy Baldwin Racing for all they do to me. Take care of the cars, just show up to the track and got a bad fast car, never have to worry about it. Huge thanks to my grandfather. He's one that kind of comes with me, a partner in crime. So huge thanks to both of those. And then I post everything on Facebook, on my personal Facebook, and then my Instagram, it's Caleb Petty Racing. So follow along on that if you ever want to, curious what I'm doing. I'm always doing something. So just, follow me there and just come along for the journey.
Always good talking to you, man. Thanks for so much being on Finish Line and being on. Good luck. Be safe. Have fun at South Boston. Hopefully you won't be in the back smiling. You'll be in the front smiling in the Flying 99 as well. So thanks for your time, bud.
Thank you.
That's Caleb Petty, ladies and gentlemen, the Kentuckian picking up the win in the Smart Warrior 99 at Caraway Speedway for the Smart Modified Tour. Next round for the series will be this Saturday for the Smart Modified Tour, powered by Pace-O-Matic at Flow Racing for the event at South Boston Speedway. Now we go from Caleb Petty to downtown Michael Brown. I wonder if he's downtown. It's always good talking to the man of the 24D. Life is good in Michael Brown's world. Just recently had a baby, Lauren, and his wife Lauren and him celebrating a newborn. And then what does he do? He comes right out of the gate in the big race at the World of Outlaw Case Equipment Late Model Series event and picks up the win along with Max Blair. And I've had Max Blair on before. I've known Max Blair a long time. But, Michael, it's a big honor to have you on Finish Line, your first World of Outlaw Late Model Series win. I know you've been on before, but this is a pretty big monument for you, winning that big race on Saturday. Welcome to the show.
Hey, man, thanks for having us. Yeah, it was a big weekend for us. So,
Friday. You won Friday.
That's right. Definitely thankful for that. So, it was definitely a big weekend and one I won't never forget for sure.
Well, before we go any further, I think I mentioned Lauren and I mentioned the baby, and things are just going great in your life. I always talk about positive energy and good things going and flowing, and when they're going great, things are just going well. And I think that's happening for you right now, Michael.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely a blessing to welcome our firstborn into the world, and Mason and my wife Lauren, they're both healthy, so it's definitely something me and her have both prayed for a long time. So I'm definitely I had talked to Wesley Page Sunday, and he said, it's just I've been on cloud 9, between having that kid and then going out and winning my first World of Outlaws race. Really, life couldn't get much better for me right now.
Yeah, Cherokee Speedway. Do you feel like the advantage of knowing Cherokee Speedway, racing Cherokee Speedway, as long as you have on a local, regional level, Carolina Clash, Ultimate Southern All-Stars, if you have helped you be able to beat up on these national guys, or was it just, man, on any given night, anybody can do what they're going to do, and I was just a top dog?
I definitely think it helps. Just I've raced at Cherokee since probably 2009 or something. So, racing there a bunch definitely helps. But just kind of like I told my corner and my guys, Friday night, just all the stars align. I mean, I've had a fast car for pretty much since I've raced, and just miss it here a little bit, miss it there a little bit, not do my job behind the wheel, not hit the draw right, not something that seemed like would affect it. But Friday night, second overall in qualifying, heat raced, won my heat race, and redrew a 3, put me on the inside row, and just all the stars aligned basically. And I guess it was in God's plan for us to win Friday, because everything, even down to when we got to lap traffic and things like that, all played my way. So definitely fortunate for it. Something I'm gonna soak in.
Downtown Michael Brown joining us here on Finish Line from Beaufort, South Carolina. A big, big win for the driver, winning in the World of Outlaw Case Equipment Late Model Series. And, of course, obviously they've had title changes and they've had, drivers come and go. Things are changing, obviously. We got Chris Ferguson coming up here next to close out the program. But I will say this, though, Michael, your humbleness of the industry has not changed. You can be in any kind of race car, whether it's a crate or a super. It seems like you're definitely just adapting and getting so much better. What is the plans? And by the way, I'm digging this new black 24D car. Where did that idea come up with wrap job on that car?
I just we have been blue for so long, and I was looking to change it up, and I just pretty much told Anthony Sanders, Big A's Custom Graphics, that I was going to put black bodies on it, and I give him free range. I said, man, just make it look good. I told him I didn't matter what colors it was or anything, and he does what he does, and made it look great. So I'm with you. I'm really digging the new black cars.
And by the way, Austin Holcomb is joining us next. Austin Holcomb and Chris Ferguson, by the way. We've been on the air for so long, it already feels like we're already at the home stretch, which technically we are, so definitely. But yes, Austin Holcomb joining us. And that's somebody also from Cherokee Speedway Racing, winning. He won the modified race, of course, on Saturday too, so for sure. But Michael, what is the plan? Do you feel like your team is good enough to go on a national level, or because of Lauren, because of baby Mason, because of life, you don't want to do the full-time traveling road show? And what's the plan to scale here for 2022 for the 24D?
Certainly, the wife and family and stuff like that plays into it. But I own my own business and things like that. So, far as my racing goes, we just gonna go out and have fun. I definitely don't think I'm ready as a driver for a national tour. I mean, that would be great, and I hope to continue to get better. My goal is just to be competitive when I unload. Around here when we do decide to race. We don't really have too big of plans this year. I mean, we're going to do some racing, but certainly not as much as I done last year. So, like I said, the goal is to just keep fine-tuning my program and fine-tuning as a driver, and hopefully continue to run well. I mean, I think last year I kind of was trying to race a little more than what I was prepared to do, and definitely wore me down. And I think my finishes and stuff kind of showed. So definitely taking a different approach this year.
All right, so we talked about it on the pavement level. We talked about it on modifieds. I'll ask you on super late models on dirt. Are we good for 2022, or do you think that we're barely hanging on with the tires and the crazy life we're living in right now, and going to get worse before it gets any better? Do you think?
Yeah, I definitely hate to be negative Nancy, but I definitely don't see it getting any better. My tire situation is I mean, I'm blessed to have Brian Key at Hoosier Tire South to take care of me the best that he can. But just the increase of price of everything, which I understand they are paying more, but man, just everything has gotten outrageous. So definitely on the negative side of that. I hope I'm dead wrong and things get better quick, but I just don't see it.
I don't want to get in your business here, and if you tell me that's none of you, then I'll stop. But for our audience that might be watching Finish Line or listening on Finish Line, your event that you won with the World of Outlaws paid $10,000 to win. But what do you make from that? Like, after everything that goes into a race weekend, Michael, how much do you really pocket, man? I mean, if it's an offensive question and it's not my business, then you tell me. I'm not going to add for you. But what I'm trying to do is kind of set the tone of, this race pays this to win, but it costs this much to enter and try to win.
Well, you figure we went through 6 tires per night. We raced 2 nights, and they went up to like $220 a tire. So I personally don't know exactly what it cost me, just because I don't get paid to drive. I drive for fun, and I don't really handle the finances side of things either.
Wow.
So my car owner pretty much takes care of all that. And like I said, I don't get paid to race or anything like that. So I just simply drive for fun. So I hate to not be able to answer your question.
Sure.
Like I said, I just not too much involved in what everything cost and what we make, or, well, I know we don't make anything, but how much we lose, let's put it that way. So I really not much help on that side of things.
You know what? Honestly, what you just said right there says enough, because you literally just said, we get paid, yes, but what are we really making after all that we're doing? Because you think of the shocks, you think of the tires. If you blow an engine in a super late model, it's minimum $50,000 to try to get a new one. It's sometimes more. $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 motors. I know some people that got $100,000 in engines for super late models. So definitely the cost incentive. Though we're in where we're at now post pandemic, and with the highs of costing and the economy and life itself and fuel prices and the shortages of race parts or just parts in general, I think. In my opinion, Michael, and I think you'll agree with on this, if the cost goes up, then the price should go up. But when is that price too much? We talked with Bubba Pollard about this earlier, about, $10,000 to win super races on pavement. And he says, well, hell, they should have been doing that years ago, and now they're doing it now. So they're finally catching up with it. But dirt has always been prominently pretty good payday. But when is that number too much? Are you going to try to go to the Eldora Million? Are you going to try to go to Eldora? Are you going to try to go for more big shows? Obviously, Charlotte's got a $50,000 to win. Bristol has $50,000 to win this weekend. Does the number sometimes, Michael, as a local guy like yourself, and I mean that in no disrespect, but does that sometimes scare you away?
No, I mean, I enjoy kind of chasing that big stuff. But at the same time, being a local guy and a guy that works for a living and stuff like that, like, you also kind of realize your chances as well.
Sure.
Certainly we're all racers and we all want to win and think we can win and things like that. But the bigger races don't, kind of push me away. That's definitely something that I'm glad to see, and I'm going to certainly support. And I think everybody should, because like I said, I mean, that's the only way to keep it going and to continue to grow and have even bigger paying races.
Well, a few more minutes here with Michael Brown. Coming up next is going to be Mr. Austin Holcomb. I think he's actually a few minutes late, so we're going to try to get a hold of Austin Holcomb and get him in the box here. But, Michael, what is the plans this year? Is it pretty much just pick where you're going to go, where you're going to race at, not really going to pretty much try to run for a touring championship, regional or national, and just have fun, as you said?
Yes, sir. That's definitely the plan. Just spend time with my wife and my newborn, and try and enjoy these times of my life that it's definitely all new for me. So definitely going to soak all this in, and race when I can, and when I'm prepared, and when I know I got a really good shot at running well. So definitely don't have anything set in stone. That's something that drives everybody that's around me crazy, because I'm terrible at making plans. But uh, just like you touched on a minute ago, there's so much to choose from now. It's like everywhere you get. I mean, every week there's $10,000 to win at 4 different places within 4 or 5 hours. I mean, it's definitely hard to try and make a schedule just because there's so much to choose from.
Definitely. Well, listen, Michael Brown, thank you so much for joining us here, man. We appreciate it. Before I do let you go, I want you to thank your sponsors. And, of course, you can always follow Downtown Michael Brown on social media via Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We appreciate you being back on Finish Line, bud.
Yeah, man, thanks for having us. I'd definitely like to thank my corner, Mark McLeod, Blackcrest Farms, Piggly Wiggly, Hoosier Tire South by Brian, Clements Automotive Racing Engines, Rocket Chassis, Integra Shocks and Springs. Just everybody that makes this happy. Quality Pools and Spas, they come on with me this year. So it's starting out to be a prominent year. So hopefully we keep rolling with it.
It's an awesome race car, man. I'm loving the back in black look. Charles, you got one question or a comment for Michael Brown, Downtown Michael Brown from Beaufort, South Carolina, before we wrap it up with him?
No, but I just want to say I like that he said Piggly Wiggly.
I can't deal with this guy. Michael, if I'm in North Carolina, if he was beside me right now, I would smack him. Okay, I would leave the production booth and I would I would commit a Will Smith, Chris Rock from the Oscars.
And I take your Oscar away too.
Just click the button, take me off the air. So, hey, Michael, thanks for your time, man. We'll see you at the racetrack somewhere soon.
Thanks for having me.
No problem, man. Downtown Michael Brown, ladies and gentlemen. What the hell is Piggly Wiggly? What is it? What's it?
I think it's a like food store. I don't know what it is.
It's a grocery store. Exactly. I'm just trying to figure out why you just simply told Michael Brown I love Piggly Wiggly. Do you shop at Piggly Wiggly?
We don't have Piggly Wigglies. We have Walmarts here. I mean, let's be honest. We're waiting on our next guest, but let's be honest. I mean, whoever's ingenious idea it was, I want to get them on the show to name your grocery store Piggly Wiggly. I mean, every kid in America wants to go to a store named Piggly Wiggly. I mean, come on. I mean, if you were a 5-year-old kid and your mom said, you want to go to Walmart? What? Walmart? That's boring. But if your parents are like, hey, we're going to Piggly Wiggly, and then every kid wants to go there.
I can't deal with you, Charles. I just can't. Austin Holcomb, we're trying to get him on the line here now.
He's probably a Piggly Wiggly.
Austin doesn't see link for the show. I sent it to him. Hang on, let me try this again. I will send this to Brenda Holcomb. By the way, County Line Raceway, they had practice last night.
They shouldn't have practice. Save tires.
But they haven't ran all year. They haven't ran in the wintertime, Charles. I mean, they got to have a practice session. You can't be a negative. It's the whole time.
Just run them on the rim. Save your tires. Okay, you do have to have practice.
I'm trying to connect to Austin Holcomb here, and then, of course, it's also running out of time for Chris Ferguson. So, anyhow, he's coming up at 2:50 Eastern. Austin doesn't see link for show to go. Okay. Well, I sent it to him. I texted it to him. I wonder if I don't have his number. I did. Hang on a minute.
Like you said, when you're live, you're live. Can't make this stuff
when you're
up.
live, you're live. You're exactly right. So let me try to help him out again here. Just give me a second. Let me try to help him out real quickly. So let's go to a quick break. We'll come right back with more Finish Line. Hopefully Austin Holcomb after this. Let me tell you about MPM
McAllister Precision Marketing. They can assist up-and-coming racers with career advancement, promotion, and assist in sponsorship procurement. MPM also has media and professional etiquette training. They work with premier driver development teams and limited late models to late models, and they also help the teams to make it up to the levels of K&N, ARCA, Truck Series, and even NASCAR Xfinity. Contact Tanya McAllister today at McAllister Precision Marketing, 803-361-6199. Today, get on the board with MPM.
CrateInsider.com is your one source for crate racing tech and more. Whether you currently race with a crate engine or you are thinking about getting into the sport, our website has what you need. CrateInsider.com has tech videos, interviews with experts, and the best products in the industry. Dyno tested and proven, so we know they are the best products for crate engines. Visit CrateInsider.com today to get on the fast track to victory lane.
Hey, it's broadcast personality Wesley Outland, and for the second year in a row, the Community Radio Network is excited to also be the voice of iRacing on LSRTV every Monday and Thursday night with the Northwest Racing Series for Cup and Truck. Join yours truly, Justin Prince and Samuel Dyer, every week as they race towards a championship. We're also on the radio in the Triangle in the Raleigh-Durham, North Carolina area at 87.5 WCRN and anywhere worldwide at wearecrn.com. Click play. Check out the coverage, the power of radio to the imagination of the listener, esports style. We are the Community Radio Network, the voice of iRacing on LSR-TV. Check it out when you can, and replays are always up too.
This is Finish Line.
Welcome back to Finish Line. Yes, sir. Charles Wooten's in the house. He's on production. I'm Wesley Outland, and joining us finally, he's got it. Where's the baby at, Slingshot? Where's the baby? I saw you had a baby.
She's sitting beside me.
There you go. Well, listen, ladies and gentlemen, joining us is the young man. Well, I mean, he's still a young man because I'm old, but we've known each other God knows how long. From Elm City, North Carolina, Austin Holcomb. Austin, welcome to Finish Line. First off, it's always good catching up with you, man, and we appreciate you for the first time being on the program today.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate getting the message on Facebook. Yeah, we had a little technical difficulties trying to figure out how to get on this thing. We were out there working at the race car shop, working on some race cars, trying to find some more speed. But we got it all plugged up and figured out how to do this thing.
Speed? You said you need more speed? You've been winning.
Yeah,
you won Screven. You won Winter Freeze. You won Halifax. You won Bristol, damn it. And then you won Cherokee last Saturday, too.
Yeah. We got to keep finding speed because there's guys out there that are going to try to get faster than us, man. We always got to find some more speed, so we out there searching.
That's true. But listen, I was telling people before we had you on that I remember you when you ran go-karts, when they used to run go-karts at County Line Raceway with the hay bales around the racetrack. And then you moved into four-cylinders, and then you got into like street stocks and late models, modifieds. You just found the niche in the modified car. How much fun is it to drive the open-wheel car?
Man, like I said, I can drive anything with wheels on it, but we really found a good program with this modified stuff. We got a good shock program. We finally got a good motor program. We've got an awesome chassis program now, and that's all coming together. And that's just like what some of these guys are saying. You really got to get your program together and honed in, and then it just starts clicking off. You start winning races, you start running good, running consistent, finding speed, and it just all seems to work together. And it's just the last about 6 months, we've really been finding some good speed and running consistent. And it's just starting to click off for us this year.
What has it been like with obviously, you know, your dad is a big help for you on your series and your driving into, you know, man, what a year you're having. I mean, you go down to Winter Freeze at Screven, you win that for the Renegades of Dirt Modifieds. Then you turn around and you went to Halifax last weekend, you won for their season opener. Then you at the Baton Memorial Race. Then you turn around and you go to Bristol Motor Speedway, then Cherokee Speedway. Some pretty marquee special racetracks, but I got to say probably Bristol's the one that's the top, right? You looked excited holding that sword up.
Yeah, that was one of I feel like one of the best trophies we can get. Man, it's unreal almost to win at a prestigious event like it is. Yeah, it might not have been the main show, but man, this even win and get on victory lane at Bristol Motor Speedway on that checkerboard floor, it's unreal. And you know, it's really unreal to win any of the races I've won this year. It's just like I said, to come where we come from, racing out of our backyard pretty much, just it's a family team, family organization. We finally got some good partners to start helping us and get a good program going, and it's starting to click off. I know I've always had the talent. It's took a little while to finally get everything in order and get all our ducks in a row to start winning some races.
Elm City, North Carolina, Austin Holcomb, listen up all the way in Texas. My producer, Charles Wooten's got a question for you.
As I've already stated, I like to ask the dumb questions around here. Wesley asked the important ones. But you said you got a sword. So the only thing that came to mind is you get this sword for winning a race. You're number one, and you're called the sword. Does the movie Highlander come to mind at all, or am I just dating myself? There can only be one.
I mean, you got to try to have some fun with it. You know what I'm saying? And it's like I said, it's unreal to be a part of a ordeal like Bristol Motor Speedway. Just to hold something that prestige is it's unreal. And anything comes to mind to have some little fun with it.
We're talking again with Austin Holcomb. He is joining us here, of course, picking up the big win at Bristol, Cherokee Speedway, Halifax County. One winner freeze at Screven, and he is joining us on the program. Coming up, the Bristol winner, of course, for the Super Late Models with Mr. Chris Ferguson is also going to close out our show. What a lineup of finish line we have for you here. Weekly, every week, Wednesday. We're glad to have you with us, and those that are watching first time, also for those that are watching on Facebook as well. Questions, if you have any, we have them. Comments, concerns, questions as well. We welcome you to our guest panel. Austin, man, your dad, what's it mean to have that father-son relationship and still being able to, just have those fun Friday, Saturday nights at the racetrack, but still when you get up the next morning, you're working on the race cars and you're getting everything hammering away. And, a lot of people might not realize, but the Holcomb name is big on racing. A lot of people, first time I ever announced a race at County Line Raceway, your dad, Jimmy Holcomb, was the track announcer. And that was probably one of the craziest nights of my life working with him. And then you got your mom, Brenda, and her brother, James. They operate and run County Line Raceway now, which will always have a special place in my heart. No, just like Goodyear All-American Speedway on pavement, no matter where I go, no matter where I travel to, I'll always remember County Line Raceway. And amongst all of that going on, Austin, you've got the racetracks, you've got the race cars, you've got the businesses, you've got everything that you're trying to handle and also be a racer.
Yeah, that's right. And first and foremost, it's like I said, it's family. We've been doing it for years now, and yeah, there's times when we butt heads and don't get along too well, but it's all in all good fun. I'm glad to be a part of it. My family's been racing forever. I mean, my grandparents opened the racetrack up. We started racing go-karts at a real young age, and my daddy's always been behind me. He even raced for the longest time, and he let the reins down into me, and we're continuing to race, and it's just, like I said, I love it. We're a family team, and I'm just glad to be a part of it and having, victories in the process.
Austin, we're to about 3 or 4 more minutes because Chris Ferguson's chimed in, and I know you were a little bit late with technical issues trying to get locked in here, so we're going to give you a few more minutes, so we'll let Chris Ferguson know that. Ferguson's going to be on hold for a few minutes because of you, Austin, so that's great. What's the plan? What is the plans? What's the plans for 2022? Obviously, you've had a lot of success out of the gate, but County Line Raceway, I think they're getting ready to fire up here in the next week or two. They had practice yesterday. I think it's open practice in the first race of the season this Saturday. What is the plan? Do you cut back and go locally, or are you going to try to scale more and go to more national traveling venues?
Yeah, that's our plan. We're gonna hit some national shows this year. I think we're gonna do a little bit of the Hell Tour. And like I said, we're still working full-time jobs, so we're trying to do what we can and race where we can. But it's real nice having my family own a business too, so we get to kind of take off and go race when we need to. But yeah, We're gonna push for a national championship title. I mean, I ain't gonna say we're gonna go out there and beat the Nick Hoffmans and those guys, but that's our goal. That's what we're shooting for. We're gonna go try to beat those guys, and that's the only way you get better is go race with those guys. So this year we're really gonna put it forth and go try to race those big shows and see what we can do. And still, we're going to come home and race the county line and, all the other local tracks around here. Our schedule's kind of working out to where we can, hit those big shows and still come home and race in front of the local fans too.
Austin, where do you see the state of modified racing now in the Southeast? At one time it was really down low. Then it's picked up on the highest of highs. But then we've had COVID, pre-COVID, post-COVID, where we are now in life with everything going up in expenses just to survive. Where do you see the modified branding at?
I see that it's trying to grow. That Renegades of Dirt is really, helping us out a lot on the eastern side and even the Midwest side. They're starting to try to get some races out that way, especially with AMS shutting down this year with that deal
That's
going
right,
down.
the American Modified. That's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so I'm really pleased that Renegades is trying to step up and put some good races on, some good money paying shows, and and I see that it's trying to go on a rise now, and I think we've hit a point where it's either going to happen now or it's going to, glimmer away on the East Coast. So I'm hoping for the best, and we got some good local guys trying to, push the modifieds on some of these local tracks and just see if we can get something going.
Austin, what does it mean to be a good old local guy like you from Elm City, and now you're having the chance with your dad and your family and Brandy, your mom, all of the folks that are behind you, and being able to bring the 8A car from the red clay at county line to now on a national level where people are knowing who you are now? Because there were times where you would like blow an engine or get in a wrecks or have issues. Now, when you see that car pull in the parking lot, it kind of like the Ada Kyle Strickler used to be, somebody you've had parties or drank beers with a time or two on a late nights. I know because I was there as well. We could have some bonfire stories right here on Finish Line. But
yeah, we could.
Your car now, when you see that number 8A, a lot of people say, wow, there's Austin. And man, this guy could possibly win now. He's really got his act together. He's got the right car, got the right program. What does that mean to you on that level?
Yeah, man, it's just huge. Like I said, it's almost a dream come true. I love racing. I've been wanting to do it for my whole life, apparently. And it's unreal to be a part of this program now. And I'm glad we got some good guys helping us. We got some good partners, like I said, and it's just all falling together. And I hope we keep rising. But like I said, we're going to rise as a team. We're going to follow the team, and we're going to keep riding this wave. And it goes up and down, and we're just going to keep shooting for the best.
So, final question, and I want you to segue that with your sponsors in closing because Chris Ferguson's coming up. What is your favorite racetrack to drive? And I will take this away. You can't say County Line Raceway. You got to pick something else. Okay, I know you love County Line Raceway. Do's, don'ts, ins, outs. You've dominated there, highs, lows. I know you're going to say County Line, but as far as on the traveling level for you, Austin, what is your favorite racetrack you've had the chance to race on? And thank your sponsors.
All right. Yeah, I'm going to have to say Tyler County is probably one of my favorite tracks I've been to in West Virginia. We had that Mega 100 race where we were so close to winning it, and we finished second to Eddie Carrier Jr. And so I think Tyler County is probably the best track, I love to race at other than County Line. But, yeah, all my sponsors, Prime Electrical Solutions, Owens Construction, Affordable Heating and Cooling, Atwell Exterior Services, Abco Performance Shops, Club 69 Race Cars, Full Boys Racing Supply, Eugene Muse Law Firm, Gator Sports Pub. I think that's about it. Just everybody. If I forgot somebody, I hate it. All my sponsors, they're great. All my fans that support me, even a few haters that don't like me. It's just a big team effort, and I'm just glad to be a part of it.
Austin Holcomb, number 8A Racing on Facebook, and of course at Austin Holcomb on Twitter and Instagram as well. Austin, we got to fly, man. Thanks for being on Finish Line. Tell Brenda, tell Big Jimmy, your daddy, tell everybody I said hello, and continue that success, young man, in the 8A car.
All right. Appreciate it.
Austin Holcomb, ladies and gentlemen, from Elm City, North Carolina. Just a great story of a local grassroots racer doing good from go-karts to now one of the best in modifieds. Now we go from Austin Holcomb to Mount Holly, North Carolina, and Chris Ferguson is our final guest. We save the best for last. The $50,000 winner on finish line, Chris Ferguson, is joining us. Chris, where the hell are you? What are you doing?
I'm not in Mount Holly. I'm actually in Bristol, Tennessee at the racetrack. We stayed here this week because we're racing again this weekend. So I'm here in the pits, getting everything ready, servicing the car right now. And me and my little brother, crew chief Brandon, he's here and getting everything ready for this weekend. Another $100,000.
My producer, Charles, is digging your sunglasses, by the way. I know you're getting ready for the weekend, but he's thinking you could definitely audition for Top Gun.
Yeah, I think Maverick was flying this weekend, so I might get the job.
For sure. Hey, but you know what, though, Chris? I first off, thanks for being on Finish Line. I believe this is the first time we've ever had you on video format. I know we've had you on via phone before in the past couple of years, but for video, welcome aboard. So if anybody never knew what Chris Ferguson looks like, that's what he looks like right here on the program. But, Chris, you won $50,000 on Saturday night at Bristol in the Dirt Nationals, and now you literally are in a race trailer, in a race car, at Bristol, Tennessee. Everybody else is running. They're doing their thing. You're not racing again for $50,000 until Friday and Saturday night. But you pocketed $50,000 and you are still a diehard racer in the pits getting ready for another weekend of racing.
Yeah, for sure. I've always been the type to, no matter what, we work on our stuff. And I was very fortunate to be able to work. I could work from anywhere now with my current job, but my brother's able to be here with me. So, we're making it work. We're here. Hope y'all like the view. There's the race car. That's the car that we won with this weekend. And we're here at Bristol. Just trying to make sure this thing's fast again for this weekend.
Hey, listen, so I don't want you to be standing up because we got about 15, 20 minutes together, Chris. Sit down. Take a load off. Carry your phone with you. Hey, look, you got a Dr. Pepper, and I've got one that's got cream soda. So there you go. Look at that. But have a seat.
Wesley?
Sit down. Yeah, have a seat. Sit down. Absolutely, man. I'm digging the background. There's the race car. There's Chris Ferguson sitting down, man, because obviously I don't want you to be standing up 20 minutes. And listen up, though. My producer in Texas, Charles, that's for you. And by the way, Team VLR Racing, they send a big hello to you as well from the iRacing world.
Yeah, that's what I'm questioning. I'm trying to find the VLR sticker on that car. I don't see one.
Hold on.
It's got to be on there somewhere.
There's not a VLR, but basically VLR and
Majula Speed Shop. Yeah. There you go. Okay.
Blake Majulis.
I think everybody's heard of Blake Majulis and Evan C. So,
yes,
Evan's the captain of VLR now, and the sim racing's a big part of this deal now. So, it's pretty cool.
And Chris, you love sim racing, man. You'll get up there and you'll do some sim racing whenever you get a chance to.
Not with swag, hopefully.
Love it. I get my butt kicked on there, but it's a lot of fun. Doesn't cost as much as this stuff, and when you wipe one out on sim racing, there's a reset button. You don't have to do all the hard work, so makes it a lot easier than the real life stuff.
So listen, let's go back to Bristol Motor Speedway Saturday night. You are literally out in front, and I watched the video, by the way. You jumped out, green flag fell, nobody could catch you. And I will say this, that's redemption for you, because let's go to a couple of weeks ago at March Madness. You were dominating the Southern All-Stars event at Cherokee. Cut down a tire with 2 laps to go. There's been times you've been doing good at Eldora, blew an engine, had a tire go down, got caught up in an accident with lap traffic. Other races that have happened to you this year, it just seemed like the monkey, the gorilla, Bigfoot was off your back Saturday night at Bristol, and that was a big $50,000 relief.
Yeah, it was definitely a relief. We had some bad luck at Gaffney, coming up a couple laps short. Our car's been really fast this year, so I knew if we could put ourselves in position, there was no doubt we could win. But the way my luck's been the last few years, it was definitely in the back of my mind, kind of waiting for what could happen. And it was a little bit of redemption for last year, even though we won the first night. The second night, the 50,000, we were leading. I think we led 15, 20 laps, and we had a adjuster, left for adjuster nut on the shock back off, and it really screwed up the car, and we went from leading to finishing seventh. And to get the redemption and win the big one this year, it meant a lot. And not only that, but just to, like you said, cross my name off a big paying race. We've been so close so many times. To finally do that is definitely something to say and something to be proud of.
What is it like, Chris, going around Bristol? Obviously, we see the banking, we see camera shots on NASCAR, and that's pavement. What's it like on dirt to go around such a high bank track? And if there was a similar track that could probably match, would you say, me and you are in agreement, it's up the road at Volunteer Speedway in Bulls Gap, except it's just bigger?
Yeah, I would say the banking's probably the most similar at Volunteer, but speed-wise, it's not even close. Eldora is not even close. Port Royal, Wytheville, a lot of big tracks, Lancaster, they're fast, but none of them are Bristol fast. Bristol's by far the fastest we go in a dirt late model. Nothing compares to it. All these tracks have their own special feeling, and they have their own characteristics, and Bristol's no different. It's just its characteristics are definitely a lot sketchier, a lot faster, and just nothing compares to it. You can shape it, compare to banking, compare the straightaway speed maybe to a couple places, but you don't let off the entire night. And even when it slicks off, you don't let off. You're fast the entire race, and when you drive into the corner, it feels like you're driving a airplane. I mean, it's ridiculous. You can feel the G-forces here unlike anywhere else. So it's definitely a special and also sketchy feeling to race here.
Our final guest is, of course, Chris Ferguson, winner at Bristol. Hey, it looks beautiful. I think there's some weather coming, though, right? But it looks beautiful right now. Nice windy day.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it, man. I got my shorts on with my chicken legs out, and trying to get working on my tan right now. So it's beautiful. It's like 70 degrees right now, but we're getting all the work done and service on the car, and we're going to have this done hopefully in the next hour or two. That way we can put it up until Friday because it's supposed to get nasty tonight. So we'll get it all shut up and done and enjoy it while it's nice outside.
Well, listen, we've got you here. We got a few more minutes with you, obviously. We don't want to take up a lot of your time. What is tonight? Is tonight practice night here for the race at Bristol, leading up to the races Friday and Saturday? And I've seen they're still continuing on. There's stuff going on all week long, but obviously preparing for the weather, you got to have a plan, obviously, because that might change the car from this upcoming weekend to last weekend for sure.
Yeah, it's the water that they're probably going to get tonight and tomorrow. It might make the track faster, but Bristol's pretty much state of the art, and they have the equipment to get it worked out. So, they're doing some features tonight. The 604s, UMP mods. I watched Strickler race last night and a bunch of other guys, and then running some street stocks and factory stock stuff. So, and also the Hornets. So last night I went up in the booth and watched, and they asked me to be like you, Wesley. They want me to come in and do some commentary. And like I tell everybody, I'm a race car driver, but I would never wish that on anybody, having to go up in the booth and talk for that long. So you guys do a
people don't realize what kind of work that is. I try telling you.
You can have it. You can have it. It's not for me. I'll go up there for a beyond the wheel driver segment for about 5 minutes, but you guys up there for 3-4 hours, props to y'all, because guys like me can't get it done.
Try 14 hours back in 2018 when I did the World 100 for 14 hours on flow racing, man, or dirt on dirt at the time. That was crazy as well. We got a question. Charles from Texas has got a question for Chris Ferguson. Listen up.
Well, hopefully Howard Weaver did his job and is getting this out there for everyone to hear. But, Wesley, you mentioned rain. And, I've talked to drivers about this throughout the years.
I didn't say,
well,
get
weather.
it right, Charles. I said weather, okay?
Weather.
Announcers don't call it rain, damn it. They call it weather.
I'm not an announcer. I'm a producer. I can say what I want. But anyway, so I've talked to drivers throughout years of being at racetracks. And I know a lot of drivers that when a track gets rained on, they like the way the rain evenly waters the track. So if you get some of his weather, as he calls it, and it makes the track, do you feel, the weather, rain, whatever, makes the track a more even, smoother track than a water truck out there just dumping it out of a PVC pipe in certain areas and not getting all of the track?
Yeah, there's per se at Bristol, you don't see it as much, but typically speaking at a dirt track, when the water truck comes around there, sometimes they'll go a little too heavy in certain areas. And, I've been at races where they water the track, but then all of a sudden they put too much on the bottom and there's standing puddles sitting around the bottom of the track. So
right. Yes.
When it rains even, and it's like, that's, it's almost better for it. But the only thing that sucks about the rain is not only does it rain on the track, but then it rains on all of our equipment. And then that nice coat of dust we have on everything, when that rain gets on top of it, then it kind of gets everything pretty nasty. So I don't particularly hate it because luckily I got covers for everything. But it definitely helps out, especially in the Southeast. Rain helps out about every track around the Carolinas or anywhere in the Southeast.
Chris, do you feel like this could be the year for you to really turn some big heads? I mean, look, we've known each other since the early 2000s, from your crate late model racing days, if you will, from Fast Track and NDRA. You've gone through such bad luck in years past. There's got to be a year of good luck on your side. It's got to be a way to turn things around, obviously, with a $50,000 win Saturday at Bristol, and just keep that momentum train going.
You got me now?
Oh, yeah. Tell people to leave you alone.
It was it was Scott Bloomquist. That was actually pretty funny because he never calls me.
Oh,
but I think this year, we started out at March Madness on the right foot. I typically don't run great at that race. I'll run good at the World of Outlaw races, the Lucas races, right. But typically the day race, I don't run great there. So, I really think that, along with the way we ran at Bristol, I think this could be the year that we finally get some crown jewels. We've been knocking on the door the last 4 years. And one thing I've always told everybody is I think if you put yourself in position long enough, the law of odds will fall your way. And I think it did Saturday night. And I think if we start up front these crown jewels like we've been doing, then there's going to be some things go our way. And I think that we can, hopefully get $1 million or the Dream or the World or the North-South. And all of a sudden, I went from that guy that's in the hunt to I'm that guy that's winning some of them.
Certainly. And, we want to talk about Scott Bloomquist here in a few moments, but I do want to go back to you made the statement about we don't do good at March Madness, but we do well in the World of Outlaw events. Yeah, you made the decision not to run the World of Outlaw late model events at Cherokee. Why did you decide to just stay at Bristol and not run at Cherokee Friday and Saturday?
Just the 50,000s, 2 days in a row, 2,500 to start both days. I had a lot of success here last year, so I knew, even though, a lot of people overlooked us, a lot of people consider us a dark horse, but I'm not sure how you're a dark horse when you won the first one there in 20 years. And then you also lead the second main event they've had there. So, for it to pay $50,000 each night, I knew we'd have a good shot. And I love Cherokee to death. But Cherokee's got one more World of Outlaw, one more Lucas Oil race. And Bristol might not be around next year. So, while you have that opportunity to race somewhere as electric as Bristol, you got to take it. And the purse money was really good, so it made sense just to come up here and make the show. It just made sense financially, and then the whole Bristol dirt factor always is going to come into play no matter what.
Chris, we seen NASCAR do it at the LA Coliseum with the Busch Light Clash. We saw it back in February. We see Bristol doing it the dirt race here. This is a pavement track. They bring in dirt. It's a special marquee show. Do you think that other venues should possibly look at what the Coliseum at LA did for NASCAR and dirt for Bristol at SMI? To look at maybe the Dome. Look at the Dome in St. Louis, another one, the Gateway Dirt Nationals. Maybe we need to think outside the box and do some more outlandish, can't believe I'm saying that word as my last name is Outland, but outlandish types of events and creations to try to build the interest of the sport.
Yeah, I definitely think it's a good idea to think outside the box. Naturally, there's a lot of events that are great in dirt late models. The dirt late model dream and the world, things that you've seen that I've seen, that if more people saw it, they would be at that event every year. But at the same time, there's a lot of downtime in January, February. There's a lot of weekends where, we might not have nothing special going on. And truth be told, anytime you bring a new set of eyes to the racetrack, it's better for growing the sport, because truly, I believe that what we have in this sport is just as exciting as anything else that's out there. I think it's exciting as F1. I think it's as exciting as Supercross, as monster trucks. I really do. And I think the more eyes that are on this thing and the more venues we look at doing, and the more that we get out there in front of a new audience without taking away from the events that made this sport great, I think it's a win-win for everybody.
I agree. And at the end of the day, you mentioned NASCAR, you mentioned dirt, pavement, short track, monster trucks, karting, drag racing, tractor pulls. It's all one big family of motorsports. And at the end of the day, it's a win-win for everybody if we can figure out a way to pull that off and not be in war with one another, for sure.
Yep. I agree wholeheartedly.
Charles has got another question in Texas, Chris. Listen up. Hopefully this would make sense.
Yes, this one will make sense. We're going to merge iRacing and real racing with this question. And it's a very complicated but simple question. We've seen in the past, Wesley, you were a part of this event as well, where Martinsville Speedway got behind an event. We won't mention the event because we're not going to go back there. But, a real track backing a sim race, could that be a way to get these events more exposure? Because merging those two worlds, say Eldora with their $1 million race, have the track get with, personally LSRTV and maybe VLR and put on a big race, and the track send commercials, stuff like that, promoting the real race to get more people. So you have, the 200, 300,000 people on iRacing plus real world people all getting eyes on this event and promote the real event, a month or two before it comes out.
I wholeheartedly, this last 6 months or so, I've been heavily involved with the iRacing sim world, and doing what you're saying doing is what we've been working towards. We've slowly but surely, started to tie in the real racing. Like, a lot of people don't know this, but we've posted it a few times, but we have an iRacing sim rig here, and We're giving out a free T-shirt to the fastest time. We're giving out $100 to the fastest time, and it's got Bristol dirt on the iRacing sim. And I got a lot of real iRacers that actually know about us having that here, and a lot of them are going to be here. There was 95 of them that signed up and raced last weekend, and I'm hearing that there's going to be probably 100 to 200 that's going to be there this weekend on the sim rig, because one of the things we're doing is the fastest time gets a free entry into the $6,000 to win spring fling race. So it's nice tying the two together. It's definitely, anytime you can bring two worlds together into one, especially whenever we're the same audience. We have the same interests, so it's been really fun. And I think that if the tracks can get on board and see this, I think they'll start to realize that this benefits them as well.
I agree, man. And it's like you said, that Spring Nationals event for iRacing, that's $6,000 to win. $6,000 to win in a iRacing iRacing, okay? Chris, there are real races that pay less than that to win in a dirt late model or pavement. This is $6,000 to win on a damn computer. I'm in the wrong business.
It's crazy.
Wesley,
I'm telling you, man, it's crazy.
I'm going on the record. I've already talked to Howard Weaver, and I have put. I know they have their own announcers, but I have put our hat back in the ring. We want that race back on LSRTV. Last time we had it, we were rocking like 3,000 viewers watching that race. So we want it back in 4K glory on LSRTV.
No, well, hopefully, maybe they'll put my hat in the ring as well. But I might just drive in the darn thing for sure for $6,000 to win, man. That'll be a lot of fun bills to pay for sure. Well, Chris, hey, listen, man, I'm going to let you go. It's a beautiful day in Bristol, Tennessee. It's a beautiful day here in North Carolina. And thank you for all that you do in the racing industry, man. Big props to you. We've known each other I see pictures of us on social media. Damn them Facebook memories. Sometimes they make you cry, and then sometimes they make you smile. And when I see the pictures of us, I'm like, wow, he was that little bitty thing, and I was that little bitty thing, and now we're this big, and we're this old.
What happened to us, Wesley?
Hey, look, I got this, old life settles in. It's just, hey, it happens. Look, you've got more. At least you're not as gray as mine is. Okay, I can't get of it. I don't understand. So you're good. I know you've got a great relationship with God and faith, and I know God's been good to you, Chris. And I know you've got a great lifeline with your mom and your dad and family, and Allison. And I know you'll have the souvenir trailers there. I know I'll see you at a race sometime soon. And man, just keep up the good work. Congratulations to you today.
Man, thank y'all, and thank y'all for having me on. I always enjoy it. Enjoy talking to you. It's very familiar because we grew up in the same area and grew up racing and starting your career along with mine. So it's cool to see how far we've came, and always enjoy being on anytime you guys want me. I'm just a phone call away.
Certainly, buddy. Hey, listen, congratulations. Good luck this weekend trying to go for $100,000 in Bristol. But before I do let you go, we want you to thank your sponsors on Finish Line.
All right. I want to thank Schaefer's Oil, Doug Smith, everybody at Schaefer's Oil for doing everything they do for me. Joe and Johnny Galloway with K&K Trucking. Dr. Tim's been with me forever with Live Oak Family Dentistry. Carolina Roofing, Carver & Sons Roofing. Eric and Christy at the Racing Warehouse, Jason Heckle Plumbing, Chris Ewan with Bowtie Limousine, Fox Racing Shocks, Team Zero, Hoosier Race Tire. Luckily, I can turn around and look at my race car. Vincent Sims Construction.
I was just going to say, get up and show us your race car. Get up and show us your race car. Go ahead.
All right.
Team Zero Bloomquist car. Look at that. Yes, look at that race car.
Right here too. But
that's right.
Yeah, I want to thank them. Thank Exeldine, Valve Train, Western Cleanup Service, Vincent Sims Construction, Base Race Fuels, Go Lithium, and Dirt Car Lift, and all my product sponsors. And like I said, all my crew and family. everybody that supports us. We appreciate all of it.
And Charles says Ray-Ban for the sunglass aviators.
They look all right, don't they, Charles?
They do. You're rocking them, brother. You're rocking them for sure. Hey, Chris, man, thank you so much, man. Team Zero Bloomquist Chassis, of course, getting the win there on Saturday at Bristol. And remember, he was the first winner there at Bristol last year when he won the preliminary night. But, yeah, man, for sure. Thanks for being on Finish Line, Chris. God bless you. Be safe, man. And is that Kyle Strickler to the side of you? You better stay away from him.
Yeah, we keep him over there.
Too much party, it'll get you in trouble. Sure. No,
I'm telling you.
I'm just messing. I'm messing, my friend. Tell him I said hello. Be safe out there. Thanks for being on Finish Line, brother.
Thank y'all.
There you go. That's Chris Ferguson at the pit area at Bristol Motor Speedway. Charles, we got to get the Spring Nationals back on Live Sim Racing. You got to tell them to put me in the booth at least as a host. We can make me be the co-host or the host, and then put in the announcers, because I think they bring in Ben Shelton and is it Ben Shelton and someone else they have call that race?
I believe last time when we covered it was Ben Shelton and Tommy Rowe were the two announcers. But yeah, if we get it back, I've already plugged it again and plugged it again to Howard Weaver that we want it back on the channel. So if we get it, definitely we're going to pull out all the stops.
I know Ben Shelton as a friend and a colleague. I know Tommy Rowe in the Mid-Ohio Valley as a colleague, as somebody I know from, I believe it's Riverside and Little Rock I-30 Speedway. So I know those guys. So maybe we can all work together and have a bonfire and with a microphone and a headset and marshmallows and sing Kumbaya.
Anything with marshmallows, I'm good. But yeah, I think we need to do it. We pull all the stops out for the majors. Maybe we can do it for the spring fling if we get it. Go out there, have someone down trackside, upside in the booth. We can pull everything. We do it all.
Yeah, man, we get it done. By the way, speaking of the majors there at Phoenix Raceway, Samuel Dyer and myself will be in the broadcast booth coming up this upcoming Sunday night on Live Sim Racing TV as well. So, Charles, this show just keeps getting better and better and better. Man, what a guest lineup we had today.
Yeah, and it was good. I never would have guessed that. I don't even know which guest it was now. Guest number 2 was played in the movie 3. I actually watched that movie, so I'm not going to go back and watch it again. But yeah, never would have guessed that. Awesome to see Ferguson on here, or Fergie, or Fergie-licious, or whatever she's there.
Fergie-licious. It's Chris Ferguson or Fergie time. Chris
Yeah,
Fergie
Fergie time. That's what it was. Fergie-licious, Fergie time.
Yes,
Fergie
sir.
Burger. I do whatever. He's cool. I like having him on here. It was fun to talk to him again.
You got too much damn Piggly Wiggly on the brain. Okay, so
I do.
We got one bit left. What are you going to do to get me before we go off the air? I know you got some kind of plan, like the flux capacitor or some shenanigans. So just go ahead and get me. Go ahead.
I'm gonna be honest. I got nothing today. While you were interviewing that last guest, I got 2 packages in the mail. So we got our new 2.5 gigabit switch, so we can do some.
So where you've been being and seeing on social media, you finally got your package in the mail.
Yes, I have been really angry on social media. No, so we won't divulge all our details, but we're gonna have that new 2.5 gigabit Ethernet switch.
You don't give away our secrets.
Yeah, that's gonna be hooked in soon. I just saw Corey the Incompetent, or Competent Corey. He's our mailman. That's what I call him anyway. But he just delivered some Cat 8 cables, Ethernet cables. Yes, not Cat 6, Cat 8. That's even better. So,
that's even better. Yes.
We got some cables. We got some switches. We got some stuff in the works. We'll probably never tell the whole details about it, but it's in the works for LSRTV. We'll also probably use it for Finish Line. So a lot of good things happening here. All in time for the Spring Fling Nationals. Hey, just Howard Weaver, if you're listening, we got lots of things coming.
I'm still humming. I'm still awaiting set, okay? This is the same set for 2 years now, or at least a year and a half. Actually, wait a minute. Check that. We ain't done Finish Line on video a whole damn year. We just did Finish Line in like October of last year to now. It just seems like forever. because we've done sim races and iRacing for 3 years together. But yeah, I want to see your new mind, man. I want you to create a new set, a new stage. I like this one, but I like that's why I change the backdrop all the time. You see this? This is why I check. Oh, there you go. You can't see that now.
Well, you know, I have.
I exposed myself. So, look at that.
We could give people somewhat of a tease of something I was working on, but hopefully it didn't mute your mic. All right.
Well, let's show them real quickly. Here's a tease of something Charles is working on for Finish Line in the near future.
And again, this is very rough. Oh, let's hope you even like it. So let's see. Let's see if it cuts out.
What the hell do we care about?
There you go.
Wow.
So yeah, see, we got you where that blue line would, or the blue person would be.
It looks like a set for David Letterman, a late show, if you will.
Yes.
It looks cool though.
Yes. So we're working on that. So well,
I just need to be fatter. I need to be fatter. That needs to be a bigger blue.
Well, we'll feed you some chicken wings or something. We'll get you bigger. But that's what we've been working on. So you would be at the desk. So, you'd be at your desk. You can do your social media posts and stuff. And then, of course, we can have your guest on the TV. So it's going to be pretty cool. I've been working on that for a while now.
It is. Cue up the cheesy inspirational music and let's get the hell out of here. It's been a fun time, everybody. Finish line. All that's coming up soon. I think it's why Charles is waiting on all those new graphics and all that cool stuff to come in. So
that's just going busy and lazy.
Finish line. Oh, well, he admits he's lazy. He's just lazy. I mean, No. Charles does a phenomenal job, man. I enjoy working with him. We make a great addition to the show. And hopefully archives will be up here in a few moments. You can go back and watch them, re-listen to it. Of course, on all of the podcast outlets. Thanks to the Fox Sports Radio affiliates in the Carolinas, iHeartRadio, and the Community Radio Network. Coming up on CRN Sports this afternoon, we got ladies soccer. Bruce Barrett and myself will be able to call for that. And we got baseball Friday. We've got iRacing tomorrow night as well with the Northwest Racing Series. You'll see that in all of our commercials. Thanks to our guests, including Bubba Pollard, Georgia Spring Nationals, Chris Motorsports Park winner, Chad McCumbee, winner of the Car Store at Hickory, Robert Tyler, truck winner for the Atlantic Turfscape Super Truck Series at Caraway, and the Caraway Smart Modified Tour winner of the Warrior 99, Caleb Heddy, Michael Brown, winner of the World of Outlaws at Cherokee, Austin Holcomb, winner of the Modifieds at Bristol, Cherokee, and Halifax in the last 2 weeks. And finally, Chris Ferguson, $50,000 winner, and he's ready to go after it again. On the road to life, there is always a finish line. Make yours a successful and prosperous one. God bless you all. Did I say prosperous? Make it a prosperous and successful one. Be safe out there. Keep on praying for America. Be good to one another. Good will always overcome evil. For Rocket Media, Live Sim Racing Productions, for Charles Wooten, I'm Wesley Outland. Thank you for joining us here on Finish Line. I'm trying to continue to ad-lib to let this song go to the end. We're doing just that. God bless you all. Love you all. We'll do it again next Wednesday.
Let me tell you about MPM McAllister Precision Marketing. They can assist up-and-coming racers with career advancement, promotion, and assist in sponsorship procurement. MPM also has media and professional etiquette training. They work with premier driver development teams and limited late models to late models. And they also help the teams to make it up to the levels of K&N, ARCA, Truck Series, and even NASCAR Xfinity. Contact Tanya McAllister today at McAllister Precision Marketing, 803-361-6199. Today, get on the board with MPM.
CrateInsider.com is your one source for crate racing tech and more. Whether you currently race with a crate engine or you are thinking about getting into the sport, our website has what you need. CrateInsider.com has tech videos, interviews with experts, and the best products in the industry. Dyno tested and proven, so we know they are the best products for crate engines. Visit CrateInsider.com today to get on the fast track to victory lane.
Hey, it's broadcast personality Wesley Outland, and for the second year in a row, the Community Radio Network is excited to also be the voice of iRacing on LSRTV every Monday and Thursday night with the Northwest Racing Series for Cup and Truck. Join yours truly, Justin Prince and Samuel Dyer, every week as they race towards a championship. We're also on the radio in the Triangle in the Raleigh-Durham, North Carolina area at 87.5 WCRN and anywhere worldwide at wearecrn.com. Click play, check out the coverage, the power of radio to the imagination of the listener, esports style. We are the Community Radio Network, the voice of iRacing on LSR TV. Check it out when you can, and replays are always up too.
This episode is an exclusive production solely for the private, non-commercial use of our listening audience. Any publication, reproduction, transmission of the accounts without the express written consent or permission is restricted and prohibited. To hear this replay or other previous podcasts, download on iHeartRadio, iTunes Radio, and TuneIn. As always, this show is for you. Thank you for listening.